It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves, and bring up anything you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up tonight, the latest on Calexit, the idea of California declaring its own independence, seceding from the United States. There's been another petition filed, apparently, and we'll tell you more about what that's all about for a ballot initiative. With you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
Also, Darryl, you wanted to share a story about Cleveland police. It's coming out of the sports world. Remember the, what was his name? The guy with the football player, Colin Kaepernick?
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of stirred up a lot of controversy like a year ago when...
Yep, about a year ago.
When he refused to stand for the national anthem, I believe it was. And
Yep, citing police abuse specifically against unarmed minorities.
Right, and there were a lot of controversy that sprung up from that. I don't know what's going on with that particular gentleman these days, but apparently some other sports players have decided to somewhat follow suit.
Yes.
What's going on?
Large number of them, at least
Really?
8. And I believe we actually talked about this at the time that it happened. Not like, during the game, but like, within a couple days after the game, we did talk about the Cleveland Browns football players that decided to take a knee during the singing of the national anthem at the preseason game on August 21st. And, well, with the regular season right around the corner, the Cleveland Police Union issued a statement saying that they will not hold the U.S. flag at the first Browns game of the new season because some of the team's players recently knelt in protest during the national anthem.
So all 8 of the players were on the Cleveland Browns, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Steve Loomis, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association president, said he was offended by the Browns players' symbolic act, and so his members, that being the members of that union, will not take part in the September 10th season opening ceremony. Loomis told local media, as a veteran of Operation Desert Storm in the United States Navy and a 24-year veteran of the Cleveland Police Department, I'm not going to participate or work with management that allows their players to disrespect the flag and the national anthem.
So you better shape up, boys, or else.
Well, my question
Or
is...
else they won't walk a flag across football fields. I mean, as far as threats from cops go, this one's kind of laughable.
But my question is now the same that it has been. How is kneeling quietly while other people stand quietly disrespectful to anyone, let alone disrespectful to a piece of cloth with some stars and stripes on it?
It's a religious belief, the belief in the state, the idea that this thing exists and that this man was a part of something greater than him. He was a part of the state and is a part of the state, and that you would disrespect his religious beliefs and not join in and stand.
No, disrespecting would be standing and yelling profanities.
Well, that's the way he sees it.
While other people are having their moment of silence.
I understand that's how you're defining disrespect, but people with this religious belief system that the three of us don't hold, the people that have this religious belief system in the state, this sort of evil religion, in my opinion, they firmly believe that this is disrespect. If you don't treat their icons like their flags in the way that they say you must treat them, then it's disrespect. If you don't stand during the national anthem in the way they say you must respect their national anthem, then that's disrespect. So from your perspective, you're absolutely right. From their perspective, you're a heretic.
Yeah, possibly. Continuing on with the article, the sight of NFL players kneeling during the national anthem has become increasingly common since Colin Kaepernick adopted the gesture last season.
That's interesting. It took one man, right? It took one person to step out there and put his beliefs on the line, put his career on the line for his beliefs, and now others have followed suit. I think that's pretty cool.
But, that's really how movements start.
It is.
They pretty much all start with one person deciding to take a stand.
Yep.
Tank Man in China Rosa
much larger
Parks
stand
in Montgomery.
Right.
Even though, yes, I know
She was
Rosa
part of a
Parks
larger
wasn't
movement.
the first person, but she became the face of that movement.
This is important, and they say small groups of people can make changes in the world, and I think that's true, and I think we're seeing that happen here in New Hampshire, where libertarians and voluntarists have been moving to people who believe in ending the idea of the state. We understand that that's a long way off. And these are obviously symbolic gestures by these guys who probably don't believe in ending the state. They just, want to have the police get under control and not be insane and dangerous like they are and militarized and all that. But, kudos to them.
The article continues. Kaepernick said he was doing so, that being kneeling during the national anthem, he was doing so to protest police brutality, specifically against unarmed minorities. At least 8 Cleveland
I'd like to protest
Browns,
police brutality against everyone.
At least 8 Cleveland Browns players knelt during the national anthem ahead of the preseason game on August 21st against the New York Giants. And let me pause here to say that I'm fairly certain, and I am going to kind of speak on behalf of Colin Kaepernick just briefly to say that he's probably opposed to all police brutality.
Okay.
But because there were a string of very nationally, what's the word I'm looking? Nationally visible incidents of police brutality against minorities. Where, yes, police oftentimes, they'll brutalize people that aren't minorities, but those stories generally don't wind up getting the national attention.
Well, and they tend to prefer young black men as victims. So to focus on that is the problem. The problem is the state, but if you don't understand that, it's not insane to say, why are you picking on these people in particular? Whereas, they'll mess with anybody, and if they run out of a demographic, they'll just move on to the other one. They don't care too much, but they do prefer certain types of victims. So to pay special attention to the types of victims they prefer isn't the most insane thing anybody's ever done.
Mm-hmm.
The article here continues. The protest, that being the one most recent that's being highlighted here in Cleveland by the Browns football players, came about a week after the white nationalist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, that turned violent, where a man ran over a counter-protester with his car. Loomis, again, he's the police union guy there in Cleveland, said the Browns management told him that they were disappointed the union would not join in on the flag ceremony alongside military and other law enforcement ahead of the...
Wait, military is law enforcement now?
No, that could be and other law enforcement.
And other law enforcement.
That's
so
separate.
There could be state police, county sheriffs, plus some members of the military.
Right, but if it's military and other law enforcement, that implies that military...
It depends on how you read
The
it.
Cleveland Police Department is a law enforcement entity.
Okay.
There are other law enforcement entities that will be holding the flag along with some members of the military.
I can see how the misinterpretation would happen.
Right, and the wording here, and I've actually tried cleaning up the sentence. The actual wording from Reuters says other military and law enforcement.
Other military, just random militaries from different countries.
But that makes it sound like the Cleveland Police Department is a military, which
maybe they are.
With the whole militarization of the police. Let's just give them tanks and grenade launchers. They kind of are military to some extent. The Browns management, however, has not commented specifically about the union's decision, choosing instead to re-release an earlier statement to media outlets that were first published after the August 21st game, saying, as an organization, we have profound respect for our country's national anthem, flag, and servicemen and women in the United States and abroad. The statement continues.
All right, and it's worth sharing, apparently,
Yes.
so we'll get to that coming up here, and you can share your thoughts. 855-450, free like freedom. It's Free Talk Live.
Ooh, Get the stinky dog away from me. Bad breath and bad gas. Petey stopped eating. All his hair fell out.
Itching, licking, missing fur.
At least $5,000 in vet bill. Creams, antibiotics, sprays.
No results.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids. Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The shedding is stopped and the itching is stopped.
Her coat is now soft, it's silky, it's healthy and shiny and glossy.
She's got life. She's got energy.
Tons of energy, no more bad smells.
Dinovite's the bomb.
Dinovite is the best thing that's ever happened to my dogs, besides me, of course.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
Do you trust our economy? How about our banking system? Our president has stated we are sitting on a bubble right now, and that when the Fed raises interest rates, bad things are going to happen. Well, the Fed is raising rates here and now. There has never been a better time to turn your IRA or 401k into physical gold or silver with GSI Exchange. Call 833-GSI-GOLD. GSI Exchange can make this happen fast, and it's money you control, not the big banks. 833-GSI-GOLD. Ask about our bank failure survival guide and learn how your qualified IRA transfer can get you $1,500 in free physical gold or silver delivered right to your home. GSI Exchange has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call GSI Exchange at 833-GSI-GOLD. That's 833-474-4653. Or visit us on the web at gsi.gold.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You're invited to dial in toll-free. Take control of the airwaves here. Still to come, we'll talk about the latest on Collexit. Your calls and thoughts welcome on whatever you want to discuss as well. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. If you want to help build a better financial system for everyone, then join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. There was some discussion about Dash happening today at the Bitcoin meetup. We have a regular Bitcoin/cryptocurrency meetup that happens here in Keene, New Hampshire, with 14 people that attended today when I counted. Very, very good turnout.
Count.
Yeah, we took up the majority of the place that we were at, which was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I just didn't count.
Yeah, so yeah, things are great for cryptocurrency here in New Hampshire, of course, with probably the largest concentration of cryptocurrency users anywhere in the world would be my guess. But a lot of people are talking about Dash, and that's because it's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are fast and can even be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. Join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why. It's Ian, Melanie, and Darryl in the studio here tonight. Darryl, you're sharing with us a story about a police union in Cleveland, Ohio, that has spoken out against some players on the Cleveland Browns. They're saying they're going to protest.
Not just the players, also management.
Okay, right, because management won't whip their players into line and make them stand up during the national anthem. So the police are saying they're not going to be participating in an upcoming flag ceremony.
Correct. The opening game of the season is next Sunday. The Cleveland, let me find the actual name, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association issued a statement over the weekend saying that they would not participate along with other law enforcement entities and some members of the military. The Browns management, they didn't respond specifically to request for comment on this. They just re-released the statement that was released after the August 21st game, where at least 8 of the players took a knee. Others stood silently with hands on shoulders of those taking knees, including some white players that were participating in the kneeling and, sort of the moment of silence sort of thing, which is very important.
Police violence affects everybody.
It does. And prior to this preseason that just wrapped up yesterday, all of the players that had participated in taking a knee had been minorities.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and we even covered this a couple of weeks ago after this happened about the importance of why it was important that white athletes started standing up for their minority teammates. So continuing, again, with the statement re-released by the Browns, they said, as an organization, we have profound respect for our country's national anthem, flag, and the servicemen and women in the United States and abroad. We feel it's important for our team to join in the great tradition and special moment of recognition. At the same time, we also respect the great liberties afforded by our country, including the freedom of personal expression.
Okay, good for them.
Now, I found a statement while trying to see if there was more to this statement from the Browns organization. I came across a statement from the chief of police in Cleveland, who seems to be saying that the statement by the Cleveland Police, whatever that police union is.
Yeah, the Patrolmen's Association.
That might not necessarily be the position of the Cleveland Police Department.
Huh, okay.
Officially, the Chief Williams, Calvin Williams, issued a statement yesterday responding to the police union. And here's his statement. Hello, Cleveland. Recent statements made by the president of the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association would lead one to believe that members of the Cleveland Division of Police are against participating in events with our Cleveland Browns athletes. This is simply not the viewpoint of all of our officers. The Cleveland Browns organization has been a longtime partner of the Cleveland Division of Police, donating and assisting, many times quietly, to our police athletic league and hosting events with kids in the city's Muni League football. We know that we can count on this partnership to continue. As law enforcement officers, we took an oath to serve and protect. We protect the rights of all the citizens to express their views as protected by the First Amendment of our Constitution, no matter the issue. Our American flag,
say, but I don't believe it.
Our American flag is an important symbol to our great country, and we as officers will continue to salute it. Most importantly, we as Cleveland police officers strive to open the lines of communication with all of our citizens, athletes, and enthusiastic Browns fans alike. Who are we kidding? We are Cleveland, and we stay strong together.
We are Cleveland.
Together.
So the only one causing trouble is the union.
Well, it's interesting. So the management is a little more diplomatic, right? Like they understand a little more about sort of the mission of the police department and a little more about public relations. And it was definitely a smooth, slick press release on their part. But I suspect that they would crack down on any unruly free speech happening in the streets.
Continuing, he says, moving forward, I can tell you that we within the Cleveland Division of Police are in communication with the Browns organization, as we have been in the past. We want to hear from players, the fans, and citizens of this great city. We want to bridge the gap. We want to talk. I look forward to a continued partnership with our Cleveland athletes, our community, and a great Browns season.
Well, do you think they're being earnest? Do they really want to, sit down with the Browns players and have a conversation?
I don't know.
I think they really want to avoid the issue.
Well, certainly,
I think the chief might, honestly, and maybe I'm just giving the benefit of the doubt here. But I think that, he might honestly be open to a conversation. I don't think
it's not unheard of.
I don't think the chief of the Patrolmen's Association, and there's another quote here from Law Enforcement Today from that
he respond. The
president, the president of the union, he says it's just ignorant for someone to do that. It defies logic to
what?
me.
Is he talking about the release from the chief?
No, the fact that players would sit or take a knee during the national anthem.
I wasn't sure if he was responding.
And that the management of the team would allow them to do so.
Well, I mean, he's used to command and control, right? He's used to somebody being in charge and telling the underlings how to go about doing their jobs, and he's shocked by that somebody wouldn't have the exact same management structure.
He says, it's just ignorant to me that someone could do that. It defies logic to me, the fact that management was aware of what they were planning. That's as offensive as it can get.
Are you offended? You want to share your thoughts with us here? The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever's on your mind. This is Free Talk Live. And by the way, we're here live on Labor Day. I don't think we've mentioned that yet.
You want to save money in a place that gives you growth, control, and certainty without stock market risk or tax risk, and you want guarantees and you want it all tax-free. That's a tall order. But you can get all of that with properly designed participating whole life insurance. Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But you can have tax-free access to use your life insurance while you're alive. Get the free book to find out how. Call 702-660-7000.
North Korea openly threatens the U.S. and launches a new missile every other week. Their warhead of choice? Electromagnetic pulse. Such an event would cripple the U.S. power grid for years and leave millions in the dark. Are you ready? You can be with a Solarc EMP-hardened solar generator. Solarc works day in and day out to keep your essentials protected. You can have peace of mind knowing your power will be there when you most need it. Visit PortableSolarLLC.com to see EMP testing. That's PortableSolarLLC.com. Energy insurance for your family.
Free Talk Live.
Crack cocaine, the way it hurts individuals and communities, I would really like to see dealers get the death penalty.
Why are you so violent?
It's a violent drug. It gets to your brain. It reorganizes. It actually physically changes the structure of your brain.
That's true with alcohol.
The community is being put in danger by the fact that these drugs are illegal. I don't use crystal meth, but I'm in danger from those who do use crystal meth, in that if they need another hit and they can't afford it and their drug dealer's not willing to accept a BJ in order to give them a hit of crystal meth, then they are going to go and steal things, break break into cars, break into homes. If you can't see how prohibition creates more problems than it solves, if you can't see how prohibition leads to more violence,
just look at Al Capone and the history of alcohol. Yes. It's simple.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Join us on the radio here. You can take control of the airwaves at 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype as well. Skype username LRN.FM. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
So whether you want to talk about players taking a knee during the national anthem and the police controversy that has boiled over on that in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, you're welcome to. You can also join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733, and we have Skype, so feel free to Skype into the show at Skype username LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com is one of the great longtime sponsors here at Free Talk Live, and if you've been curious about Bitcoin, you've been interested in learning more about what it is and why it matters, then I would highly recommend you visit Bitcoin.com. They've got all kinds of information that'll get you started with learning about Bitcoin. And also, if you're old school, you've been around for a while, you want to follow the latest news about Bitcoin, you can easily do that over at news.bitcoin.com. They've even got a Bitcoin mining pool. So if you want to get into the world of Bitcoin mining, you can do that as well over at pool.bitcoin.com. Right now, by the way, the price of Bitcoin down significantly. It's fallen quite a bit in the last, I would say, 48 hours, down to around $4,300 today. It's from a peak of about $5,000. So Bitcoin, according to one source I was reading, did hit $5,000 per Bitcoin. I'm not sure on which exchange or if it was Bitcoin average or
the average, I think, was like 49.84 was the high.
So some exchange was above $5,000, and that's a big deal, man. Especially considering a few months ago it was 1,000 something or 1,500 or whatever. So just incredible growth.
And I heard somebody earlier today, you had mentioned the Bitcoin meetup that we had.
Yeah, 14 people came out today.
I heard somebody
ice cream
before you showed up talking about they had heard somebody speculate that Bitcoin would peak at about 4,800 and then go down to about 3,000 and stay there for a while.
Well, I mean, anybody can speculate about Bitcoin. There's been all kinds of wild speculation. I mean, some people think it's going to go to $1 million. Some people think, 100,000 within the next couple years. Some people say 10,000 by the end of this year, and then predictions of it falling because it's in a bubble and it's going to crash big time. And, of course, Peter Schiff believes it's all like some sort of Ponzi scheme or something.
John McAfee say? Was it 50,000 or 500,000 within 3 years?
Or he'll eat his own, possibly spotted dick. We weren't sure exactly what kind he was talking about, but he may have to eat a spotted dick on live television. Yes. Otherwise, it would be the other thing we can't talk about. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. We've got Skype, as I said. But one of the pieces of news I've been holding on to for a few days, actually, is the latest from the Bitcoin SegWit 2x agreement that is in place that has resulted in Bitcoin adding what's called segregated witness, and we discussed in detail what that is. It's a way, supposedly, to reduce the load on the Bitcoin network. Right now, Bitcoin is full. There are more transactions per second or per minute than the network can handle, and that's a problem. The Bitcoin network advocates have been fighting over a period of 2 to 3 years over how to handle this full issue, and the segregated witness is one of the ways they came up with to handle it, and it's a controversial one. Some people don't believe in it, some people do. It has now been implemented due to the what was called the New York Agreement between a number of different businesses, major Bitcoin-related businesses.
Agreement at an event called Consensus 2017.
Correct. It was back in May, and it was also agreed to by over 80% of the mining power in the world, the Bitcoin mining power. So a lot of people were behind this agreement, and so they're halfway through. Part 1 of the agreement was to implement the SegWit plan. Part 2 was the 2x plan, so it's called SegWit 2x. The 2x is where they would double the block size or the block. What's the new thing they're calling it? It used to be block size. Now it's like block weight. That's what they've changed the measurement of how things work in this new system to block weight. So they're going to double that, and that's the supposed next hard fork that's going to happen with Bitcoin, where it threatens to once again split Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins. We already have that happened earlier in August. That was when original Bitcoin split off, and then there's now Bitcoin Cash and original Bitcoin. Now the original Bitcoin may split off again, where it'll be the original Bitcoin, or whatever you want to call it, Bitcoin Legacy, and then this new SegWit 2x coin. But what's happening now is some of the signers, the signatories to the SegWit 2x agreement, are breaking their agreement. They are backing out. And now the second company that I've seen, at least, to renege on their agreement is one of the mining pools. So the first company was called Bitwala, which is some kind of
my understanding, they were not one of the signatories. They just said that they weren't going to
Bitwala says they were one of the first signatories, actually, in their press release. That's what they said.
Okay, because I had heard when the news came out of, this company's saying they're not going to implement.
No, they were one of the original signatories of SegWit 2x.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, because there was some kind of announcement a few days ago about some company saying they weren't going to implement.
Well, the latest
and then
announcement
it came out, that company didn't actually ever sign on to the agreement.
This one is also an original signatory of the agreement. This is F2 Pool, which is a Chinese mining pool, according to Coindesk.com. They have announced they no longer support the controversial scaling agreement called SegWit 2x, though the proposal has garnered support from many large Bitcoin companies and the majority of mining pools. Many take issue with its aim to boost capacity by way of a hard fork, a mechanism that could lead the cryptocurrency to split into separate blockchain networks again, which would mean there would then be 3 competing forms of Bitcoin in the marketplace.
At least, because there's already something called Bitcoin Plus that hasn't gotten a lot of press because it didn't fork off of Bitcoin.
Okay.
It was just something that somebody created a couple of years ago as,
well, every other altcoin is almost all of the other altcoins. There are exceptions. So Monero is an exception. IOTA is an exception. There are some of them that are different fundamentally from Bitcoin, but most of them, the hundreds and hundreds of them, are almost all based off of Bitcoin.
Right. But this is one of the few that, tried throwing Bitcoin in the name, and
I see.
You know,
I see. Yeah, that's not going to
Bitcoin Plus.
I don't. Yeah, like I said, I've never even heard of them. So I mean, I bet you could go and search for Bitcoin on CoinCap or CoinMarketCap, because there's these websites for listeners that don't know. If you want to be overwhelmed, then go to CoinCap.io and you will see the hundreds as you scroll down and down and down and down. You will see the hundreds and hundreds. I think at last I heard there were over 700
and that doesn't include all of the tokens that are built on top of certain platforms.
So Bitcoin, if you search for the word Bitcoin here, Darryl, you do find the original Bitcoin, the new Bitcoin Cash. You find Bitcoin Plus, which is what you mentioned, but above Bitcoin Plus. So if I'm sorting by market cap, so you got $70 billion in Bitcoin, 8.6 billion in Bitcoin Cash. This is the current value in U.S. dollars of all the Bitcoins in circulation. Those are the numbers I'm giving you here. So there's 8.6 billion of the Bitcoin Cash. And then there's the number 3 is Bitcoin Dark with $132.8 million worth of that. I don't know if that's like a Bitcoin with like a Zcash protocol or something. I'm just speculating there. And then Bitcoin Plus, which is the one you mentioned, at 7.5 million. Bitcoin 21 with less than, and then the others are all less than a million.
Bitcoin Script, Bitcoin TX, and Bitcoin Fast.
Yeah, and then anti-Bitcoin, Bitcoin Planet. You know, it just keeps, anybody can name their thing Bitcoin, obviously, but the only ones that are really competitors, as far as, in my opinion at least. And you can share your thoughts if you want at 855-450 free. But the only ones who are the real competitors for the Bitcoin name are the ones with the original Bitcoin blockchain associated with them, and that would be Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash at this time. But later this year, if the SegWit2x thing goes forward, there could be 3 of those that are based on the original Bitcoin blockchain, and that'll just add all kinds of confusion to the marketplace, which I think is a huge problem. I think that's a huge risk to Bitcoin's long-term potential to be a popular thing if there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace over which one's the real Bitcoin. And now you've got one of the original signatories, another one of the original signatories, and the first mining pool to bail on the SegWit2x agreement. So the question is, we've still got like 2.5 months until this thing goes into play. That's a lot of time for other companies to follow suit and break the agreement. And honestly, I hope it does get broken. I don't want to see this happen. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, Jesse Ventura, Dennis Kucinich, Roger Ver, Colin and Jim Cantrell, Jordan Page, and Tatiana Moroz. Top minds in aerospace, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, fine arts, politics, and finance, all at the Nexus Conference in Aspen, Colorado, September the 21st through the 23rd. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get your tickets now at nexus.freetalklive.com. New ideas and new opportunities all to be had on September the 21st through the 23rd. Nexus.freetalklive.com.
BuySellMakeOffer.com is better than ever. I'm Pat Matthews, here to tell you that BuySellMakeOffer.com, the revolutionary site for buying and selling anything and everything, just upped the ante. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and click the Sign Me Up button. When you do, you'll get the first month free, and then it's just $9.95 a month to be a member forever. And you don't need a credit card for the initial setup. Create your own store on the site and sell whatever you want, as long as it's legal, however you want, and sell an unlimited number of items. Create your own intro video to describe what your store is all about. Use Skype to see who you're buying from or selling to. Sell unused household items, as well as antiques, cars, televisions, collectibles, real estate. The possibilities are unlimited. Use social networks to promote your store right from our site. Remember, there are never any fees no matter how much you sell. Become a member today. I'm a member. Get all your friends to sign up too. This could become a great business for you. Sell whatever you want for the first 30 days free at BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you're invited to join us right here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And don't forget to check us out online, where we got all kinds of features, lots of archives that you can download, and a bunch of other stuff that a lot of other talk shows will charge you for on their website. We do it for free over at freetalklive.com, so go and enjoy all of that on us. And if you want to help support the show, one way to do that is to amp Free Talk Live at amp.freetalklive.com, AMP. Stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. The idea is you send $5 a month into the show via a credit card or PayPal, for instance. You can even do Bitcoin, and then we'll take that in and invest it into Free Talk Live. We've got new AMP goals that we've set, so if you've not yet take a look at that, you can see over at amp.freetalklive.com on the Goals tab that we're now just trying to reach $3,000. We don't have the lofty goal of $10,000 anymore, and we're going to be doing after shows at certain intervals, so at certain fundraising goal points. The next one is $3,000. Once we hit there, we're going to do an after show that's going to go out later on to amplifiers only. So check that detail out over at amp.freetalklive.com. You'll learn about some of the perks that you'll get as an amplifier, which is like access to the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, and more. So get the details and get signed up, please. It makes a big difference for us when you do that. So just take a moment to go to amp.freetalklive.com. You can read all about it there. That's amp.freetalklive.com. We were talking about the latest in the SegWit 2X controversy in the world of Bitcoin. Now, a lot of people listening to the show, you're new to Bitcoin. You don't know a lot about it. I did mention Bitcoin.com is a good place to get started. It's a decentralized cryptocurrency. It's the world's first. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, and nobody knows who that is. I mean, it's been not quite 10 years, about 8 years since Bitcoin came out. And Satoshi Nakamoto has managed to keep his or her identity secret.
Or there. Could be multiple people. Probably not.
We don't know.
What's the old saying? 3 can keep a secret if 2 are dead.
It's a good point. So yeah, we don't know yet, but it's been an incredible success story to watch Bitcoin. The current price at over $4,300 actually down somewhat over the last few days from a peak of at around $5,000 per Bitcoin. If you're listening to that and you're telling yourself, "Well, that's out of my range," well, no. You can get a fraction of a Bitcoin. You can have down to 8 decimal points, actually, of a Bitcoin. So if you want to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin or $20 worth of Bitcoin, that's possible. And there are a variety of different ways to go about doing that. So don't let the price of one Bitcoin throw you out of not getting involved in this, especially when the price is down, because who knows what the new floor is going to be for Bitcoin. It seemed like the new price floor for a while was around $2,000, and it's been now over $4,000 for like a solid month. So you can learn more again at Bitcoin.com. But what has happened is there's been this agreement that a lot of the Bitcoin companies and the mining pools had come to back in May, that they were going to implement certain changes to Bitcoin in order to help it scale. One half of that agreement has been fully implemented, the so-called segregated witness half, which we won't get into explaining because it doesn't really matter how it works. But it's some sort of technology that's supposed to scale or help Bitcoin scale. So far, it doesn't seem to have done squat, because I just sent a Bitcoin transaction today. I bought some Bitcoin tips at bctip.org so I could tip people when I'm at restaurants with Bitcoin.
Tip.freetalklive.com.
Thank you. Yeah, good point. Tip.freetalklive.com is another way you can get to it. But I paid $2 in Bitcoin fees to send those tips. And by the way, when you buy, what I figured out, Darryl, because I think we were talking about this at one point, when you go to the Bitcoin tip site, they build in all of the fee costs that it would cost to send the Bitcoins out to people into the cost of what you pay.
Okay.
So they are covering all their costs, which means it's a much increased price over the amounts that you select. So like what you can do is you can select $5 per tip or $10 per tip or whatever amounts that you want. It totals that up. You can then tip the actual Bitcoin tips site, and they add in to that the cost of all the fees that they would need to send out your Bitcoin to the recipients later on.
And you can also change the expiration.
They added that. That's a new feature.
So instead of being good for 30 days, you can set it to be good for 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, or up to a year.
Right, and then if the person you give the tip to doesn't actually cash it in, once it expires, that Bitcoin goes back into your wallet.
Right.
So you don't actually lose it. It's a really slick thing, but my point was I had to spend a $2 fee just to send that Bitcoin. So It's very, very high fees right now, and their segregated witness has yet to actually, get its legs under it, supposedly. I mean, those who support it still are saying, well, this could take time, this can take weeks, this can take months for segregated witness to actually lower the amount of the fees and to lower to scale the network more appropriately, and so it's not loaded up like it has been. So we don't know when that's going to happen. And then the other part of it, this 2x part, well, now there's one of the mining pools, F2 pool, has broken away. CoinDesk says tension's been high, with developers already hotly debating the merits of a hard fork. They say a grassroots movement has sprung up in opposition to that hard fork. I haven't even looked at that yet. We'll see what that's about. And even though the change is not slated for more than 2 months from now, although F2 Pool was an original signatory of this agreement, its operator Wang Chun is now among. Isn't there a song about him? Is now among the proposal's detractors. In an email, Chun told CoinDesk, quote, "No, I don't support the SegWit2x hard fork," unquote. He went on to add that his mining pool did not run the SegWit2x code base, which is called BTC1, for the first part of the agreement when mining pools rallied around the long-debated code optimization called segregated witness. Representatives from SegWit2x were not immediately available to comment. While F2 Pool has flipped, however, other mining pools seem to be steadfast again, most claiming they'll follow through with SegWit2x. So they interviewed some other miners who said they're going to stick with it. And then later they asked, do miners matter? There's been much debate about how much mining pool support matters and how much power the SegWit2x group has over decision-making. Some Bitcoin developers argue that users don't follow mining pools. Rather, mining pools chase cryptocurrencies that are the most profitable, typically those with the most users and demand. Bitcoin Cash, which is the cryptocurrency that split from Bitcoin on August 1st, provides an interesting and complex case study. Mining pools such as Via BTC arguably played a big role in launching that cryptocurrency, yet most mining pools only seem to be mining Bitcoin Cash to make a profit. But that's part of the problem here, is that, mining pools, or at least from one perspective it's part of the problem, within Bitcoin, there are people who support a certain ideology. There are people who say, well, I support this SegWit thing, or I support this 2x thing, or, whatever their belief system is. But most of the miners don't seem to really have an allegiance when it comes to that. Right. They just want to go after whichever of these Bitcoins is the most profitable. And so there's been this kind of tug of war almost between old Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, where they're fighting over the same number of miners, basically, because all these miners, they want to make money, so they're just going to mine whatever's the most profitable, and it's sort of flipping back and forth between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash as far as which one of them is the most profitable. And that's resulting in this sort of oscillation between the miners jumping, I guess, back and forth, and that has caused some level of instability, I think, to the various different networks.
Certainly.
That's my understanding as more of a layman than an engineer.
You know, if we look at Bitcoin as a commodity, which it kind of is, or as, you know, a good or a service that a business would provide, unless you have, you know, some philosophical reason for only doing business with Frito-Lay, if you wind up, you know, and I'm using a really weird analogy here, but let's say that you have a little corner store and somebody says, hey, you know what, I can get you an off-brand name bag of chips for 40% less than what you're getting the Frito-Lays.
Yeah.
Well, if I can buy it for less, sell it at the same price, and make more profit, I'd be dumb not to.
Or you can buy it for less, sell it at a lower price, and still make either the same amount or more profit.
Right. And, you know, the mining of Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Zcash, Monero, Dash, any of the other cryptocurrencies, yeah, there are some people that they have no philosophical reason for why they're mining what they're mining. They just want to make money.
There are even websites that, I think one of them is whattomine.com. When you go there, it'll actually show you, according to the site at least, how accurate it is, I don't know. It'll actually show you what is the most profitable coin to mine. So if you're going to invest in mining equipment of your own and you want to mine the most profitable thing, they'll tell you what it is. So it's interesting to watch all of this happen. And apparently, let's see here, So the SegWit2x supporters are saying they're going to go ahead. They still say they've got over 85% of the mining support, even with this F2 pool dropping out at this point. But again, it's a long way from November in the terms of Bitcoin. You know, I mean, it's not that far. It'll be here before you know it. But in the Bitcoin world, there's a lot of stuff that happens every single day. So we'll keep you updated on this as it develops. Coming up, the latest from Collexit, the idea of seceding California, leaving the United States. It's Free Talk Live. Have you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware? Let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
When I get to about 3/4, when I get down to the bottom, a couple more scoops, it's time to place my order. Dinovite.com.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of NomoFlea free.
NomoFlea flea spray kills fleas safely with no poison.
Because it's a polypeptide protein molecule made from
vegetable oil.
Try NomoFlea.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
Just feed your dog right. Use Dinovite. DINOVITE.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 4th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.80 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,334 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,331. Antiwar.com reports North Korea has carried out its 6th nuclear test, this time claiming it to be a hydrogen bomb, representing a major advance in their capabilities. President Trump responded with a new round of threats as well as new condemnation of diplomacy as a strategy that could be employed. Again declaring North Korea a rogue nation, President Trump publicly faulted South Korea's calls for diplomacy, labeling it take of appeasement and insisting that North Korea only understands one thing. Threats to attack North Korea have become so common in the Trump administration that if it really was the only thing North Korea understands, one would have figured it would have done something by now other than bringing both sides to the brink of a major war, and one that all analysts agree is going to be very disastrously bad for everyone. When asked if the U.S. was going to attack North Korea, President Trump offered a very unsatisfying "we'll see," leading to a flurry of concerns that Trump is not taking a war that would likely kill millions of people very seriously. Whether or not North Korea really does have a hydrogen bomb now, the nation's retaliatory capabilities to a U.S. strike are vast, which has long been a deterrent to the U.S. attacking. Ever-worsening tensions, exacerbated by President Trump's bellicosity and very public aversion of diplomacy, risk leading to a calamity. But the risk of war, vast though it is only one concern. President Trump also took a shot at China, declaring it an embarrassment to them that they'd been unable to get North Korea to give in to the U.S. demands. Beyond that, Trump and other officials threatened to cut off all U.S. trade to any nation which has any trade with North Korea, a list that includes China, Russia, Pakistan, India, the Philippines, and Thailand, along with several smaller nations. A trade war of this level risks doing massive damage to the U.S. economy, of course, given how vital a trading partner China is. The threat to cut off all of these nations, however, risks pushing them all into a block together against the United States. The risk of the U.S. going down this path are myriad, though the administration is explicitly setting it up as the only option they think is available to them and going out of their way to dismiss out of hand any alternative that might reduce tensions. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the Cleveland Police Officers Union will not hold the U.S. flag at the first Browns game of the new NFL season after some of the team's players recently knelt in protest during the national anthem, according to the union president. Steve Loomis, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association president, said he was offended by the Browns players' symbolic act, and so his members would not take part in the September 10th season opening ceremony. Loomis told local media, as a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and the United States Navy and a 24-year veteran of the Cleveland Police Department, I'm not going to participate or work with management that allows their players to disrespect the flag and the national anthem. The sight of NFL players kneeling during the Star-Spangled Banner has become increasingly common since Colin Kaepernick adopted the gesture last season as a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Kaepernick said he was doing so to protest police brutality, particularly against unarmed minorities. At least 8 Brown players knelt during the national anthem ahead of a preseason game on August 21st against the New York Giants. Loomis said the Browns management had told him they were disappointed the union would not join in the flag ceremony alongside other military and law enforcement officers ahead of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In a landmark 5-4 decision issued this Wednesday, the Supreme Court ruled to allow Americans to cram cash directly into politicians' mouths. The ruling, which effectively eradicates former prohibitions against stuffing checks and stacks of $100 bills straight down the throats, ears, and other orifices of presidential and congressional candidates, is expected to fundamentally alter the ways American politicians have large quantities of money shoved right into their bodies.
In football music news this week, the 1985 Chicago Bears reunite to record their first new material since the Super Bowl Shuffle. The group says the new material will be darker and more introspective than its Shuffle-era work.
And in this week's op-ed pages, a man asks why, if God exists, doesn't he throw us like a really sweet party? In other news, an increasing number of men feel pressure to accept realistic standards of female beauty. FedEx confirms that more than 600,000 people try to mail themselves each year. And a recovering alcoholic doesn't need friends to have a good time.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll free and join us right here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and our Skype username is LRN.FM. With you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Bring up whatever you want. We're going to the phones, to the fun, then coming up the latest on what's happening with Collexit, the idea of California seceding from the United States. And I love that idea. I think that more states ought to be considering that. Let's go, though, first to Greg in New York. You're listening online. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey, by the way, quick thing. Did you guys know China banned ICOs today?
Those are initial coin offerings, which is a kind of a way of companies fundraising by selling tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is the second most popular cryptocurrency on the planet at the moment. No, I'd seen like some headline, but I don't know any of the details.
I saw that there was some kind of heavy regulation that came out. Also saw something about it possibly being labeled as illegal fundraising. But I'm not a fan of most of the ICOs because a lot of them, if you actually look and follow some of these, there's a fair number to where there's actually not really any substance behind it.
Yeah.
It's somebody just coming up with an idea, and
Sure.
instead of going to venture capitalist and saying, hey, I've got an idea, would you like to invest in my business? Let's do an ICO and raise money.
I think it's
And
wonderful.
Now
I
we're
mean,
just going to take
yeah,
a
there's
vacation
a bunch of
because we
scams.
didn't wind up raising the money we wanted.
Sure. There's a bunch of scams, but it's better to be able to go to the masses to crowdfund something. That's why Kickstarter and these other competitors. What's another? Indiegogo. These Kickstarters, Indiegogos. These are things that people have been using to kind of decentralize fundraising, but they're still centralized because ultimately the Kickstarter company or the Indiegogo corporation or whatever, they're the ones who would get to decide whether or not you get to have a fundraiser. In this case, you get anybody who wants to can go. There's a creator of these tokens online. You can just go and you can have Darryl coin or Penguin coin or whatever. You can go and create your coin, your token. You can have 1 billion of them if you want to, and then if somebody wants to give you money for them, then that's their business. But I agree with you. You do have to buyer beware. You do need to be careful. There's probably a lot of stuff that's going to fail, even if it wasn't intended as a scam. It's just an idea that doesn't work out, and that's investing. You put your money into somebody you don't trust. You put your money into some idea that's pie in the sky that probably has no chance of succeeding. Of course, you never know, right? Like, you don't know if a new idea for sure is going to work out or not, and obviously
Right.
some people are willing to throw their money at it, so
And,
good for them.
Not that I'm in any way defending the legacy system, but if someone went to, say, NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange and said, yeah, I realize I don't have any experience actually doing anything here, but I've got this brilliant idea and I want to do an initial public offering on stock, they would be laughed out of the room.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But you do have to agree, though, that decentralization of fundraising is a good thing. I mean, you don't want just a handful of rich venture capitalists to be able to be the deciding factor in whether or not you can bring your idea to market. I mean, you think about it from an inventor's perspective. There have for a long time been scams in the market. I remember I remember years ago on Free Talk Live. Hang on, Greg, we're going to bring you back here. There was a little noise on your line. But years ago, I remember we talked about there was some series of advertisements that was running on like television and radio.
Oh, those things still run. I see it every now and then when I'm at the gym.
It was like, Inventor's Guide or something like that. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was like, you call this number and we'll send you our Inventor's Kit or whatever.
And it doesn't even have to be your original idea. It could just be an improvement on something that already exists.
And what was interesting about it was, and you'll probably find this interesting, Melanie, as somebody who was an attorney, it was basically a bunch of patent trolls, essentially, is what they were, that was running this group. And so they would send out, they'd send out a kit to the inventor, and they'd like, we'll get your invention in front of trade shows. Just let us take care of all the details.
And we'll get it patented and all this other stuff for you.
And what they would do is they would go and they would charge the inventor to take the thing to a trade show. So they weren't just going to take it on their own. They're like, well, you want to go to this trade show, and this trade show, and this trade show? That's going to be $9,000. And, of course, the inventor's like, but that's my entire life savings. Well, I really do believe in my invention, and I don't know how to get it into a trade show on my own, so I guess I'll just go ahead and give my entire life savings to this company. So they go ahead and check for their life savings, and the company supposedly takes it to a trade show, and then they come back and they tell the inventor, oh, we're so sorry, Mr. Inventor. It looks like we took it to these trade shows and, we did our best at pitching it to the venture capitalists and the people who are the investors who are there, and it just didn't take off. We're sorry about that. Tell you what, we'll give you most of your money back here if you'll just go ahead and sign this release form, and then you'll get your money back because, you did put you put all this money and this was your life savings. So the inventor's like, oh, well, I could really use that money. It's too bad it didn't work out. Okay, I'll sign this. And then they sign over their intellectual property to these patent trolls who then proceed to sit on the patents and sue anybody else who comes up with them or potentially actually develop them later on down the line. Maybe they were going to develop them anyway. So basically it's a bunch of scum-sucking attorneys who are bilking inventors out of their money. And, this is the old system, right? So there's an example of the old system bilking people out of their money. In this new system, there are, of course, scam artists in the digital realm, and they are bilking people out of money.
That's why I said, don't interpret what I'm saying as support for the legacy system.
Right. I'm just saying there's scams on both sides of this.
There's no system in which you can kind of just ignorantly, randomly invest in things that you don't know what you're doing, and everything's going to be okay, and nobody's going to mess you over. That's not a system. That's a pipe dream. So, I mean, anything you have, the fact that something has a flaw doesn't negate its usefulness as a system.
Yeah. So the useful idea is that now anyone who wants to invest in an idea they like, it's easy to do, right? You don't have to go through a broker. You don't have to there's no more middleman. All you have to do is find an idea. There's a website called Token Market, where it lists all these upcoming tokens, and I don't know, maybe half or more are scams. I have no idea, but it lists the upcoming ones, and if there's something there that like you see the idea and you're like, oh, decentralized, cake mixes or whatever, and then you think that's a great idea and you want to pour some money into it, then you can totally do that, and it makes it so that, well, I wouldn't say anybody. It's still probably something that more technically adept people can do because you do have to have the ability to store these tokens somewhere.
Right.
And in order to do that, you have to have like an Ethereum wallet, and then things get a little complicated as far as how that works. So there's a learning curve involved, but there's also a learning curve involved in things like stock trading or whatever. So I think there's value there, and I bet you some of these ideas are really brilliant ideas, and they may actually flourish into something that can make their backers a whole lot of money. But that's the gamble, right? Is the idea you're getting behind going to flourish? And odds are it won't, right? Out of 100 ideas, how many of them, out of 100 ICOs, it'll be interesting to look a year later because this ICO, this initial coin offering craze, is happening now, and it's big right now. In fact, it's so big, there's so many hundreds of millions of dollars being invested in cryptocurrency that governments like China and the United States government, the SEC in the U.S., has taken an interest in looking very closely at these so-called initial coin offerings. So, I mean, there's a bunch of money moving around, and it'll be interesting more than, let's say 5 years down the line or even 3 years down the line to look back and look at, somebody's going to do this. They're going to take like a meta-analysis of all these different ICOs that have come out and see how many websites just disappeared overnight and, people completely absconded with the Bitcoin or the Ethereum, find out how many of them really did launch their product, but it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, you mean like the Arcade City app?
Yeah, I guess they're still coming out with press releases, so they're still acting like they're doing something. But the last I heard, their latest app was crashing on every phone that people tried to install it on.
Yeah.
But the Arcade City thing, something weird happened with that they did a fundraiser, and then somehow that spawned off into this thing called Swarm City.
Correct.
It seems to be like a serious effort to do something cool.
Correct. And they wound up losing a lot of their Ethereum, and the parity, the wallet got hacked.
There's more coming up here. 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. I apologize to Greg. He set us off on that tangent. We'll come back to him.
Thanks,
He's still
Greg.
there. We're going to bring him back. It's Free Talk Live.
Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, Jesse Ventura, Dennis Kucinich, Roger Ver, Colin and Jim Cantrell, Jordan Page, and Tatiana Moroz. Top minds in aerospace, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, fine arts, politics, and finance, all at the Nexus Conference in Aspen, Colorado, September the 21st through the 23rd. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get your tickets now at nexus.freetalklive.com. New ideas and new opportunities all to be had on September the 21st through the 23rd. Nexus.freetalklive.com. If you want to promote your business, organization, website, or club, radio is a great way to reach a lot of people. And because the ads are low cost, you can reach them a lot more often. Repetition builds reputation, and ads with audio are just more convincing than print or digital. If you need local people, please contact this station. If you can sell nationally, I'd love to help. Free Talk Live is nationally syndicated on more than 170 radio stations, and we have a large and loyal podcast audience. Check out our packages at advertise.freetalklive.com. If you need something custom, contact me, Mark at freetalklive.com.
Does the current world crisis in North Korea or our domestic crisis right here in America concern you? Well, I know it concerns me. My friends over at Legacy Food Storage have solutions in the event there's the inevitable. What's the inevitable? Civil unrest, a run on your local grocery store. And here's my question to you. If this happens, how do you feed your children? How do you feed your grandchildren? Legacy Food Storage has the solutions. In fact, they can help you implement a simple plan to take care of your needs in the event of the inevitable. By calling them right now, I have authorized them to give you a special 20% discount at checkout by simply using GCN. Call 888-543-7345 or visit them at legacyfoodstorage.com. That's 888-543-7345 or visiting them at legacyfoodstorage.com. Make sure you use GCN at checkout for an incredible 20% discount. Don't be a victim. Take control of your life now.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up anything you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Skype in to join us there at Skype username lrn.fm. With you in the studio tonight is Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl. And are you eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? I absolutely hate vegetables.
Oh, yeah,
they're
you do.
disgusting. But, there's a lot of people that aren't getting their servings of fruits and vegetables. Actually, only about 10% of people are. And there's more bad news. A preponderance of research is showing that you really need 10 servings a day. That's nearly a gallon of fruits and vegetables in their raw form every day. Only about 1% of the entire population of the world does that. What's the prize for accomplishing this feat? Protection against obesity, heart diabetes, type 2 diabetes, cancer, plus enough antioxidants to neutralize all 5 of the known free radicals. Worthy goals, right? Well, I've actually been getting my 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, even though I hate vegetables. Well, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, right? I'm drinking them. I've been using Fruit and Veggie Total for a few months.
Okay.
In addition to the Whole Food Multi-Complete that we've talked about, I'm actually using both of those every day. And again, Fruit and Veggie Total made from the makers of Whole Food Multi-Complete. Join me in this worthy goal to eat better, lose weight, live longer, and feel better. Go to simplifymysupplements.com and get some Fruit and Veggie Total. Use coupon code FTL, as in Free Talk Live, save 10%, and they'll even give you a free shaker bottle. Simplifymysupplements.com, code FTL, and they take Bitcoin.
It's awesome.
You've got to send a message to let them know you want to do Bitcoin. The contact form is on the website. Just include that coupon code FTL for that 10% off.
Let's go back to your calls here. Greg is in New York. You were calling about something else, but you mentioned the initial coin offerings, and that kind of set us off. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, sure. I actually am going to mention one more piece of news that might set you guys on a new tangent also. Another piece of speculation, a study just came out, showed that the housing bubble, all the housing prices, was actually not caused by the default of the poor people. A lot of the narrative from the right has been that the banks gave out loans to people that couldn't pay back the loans, and these people were what's called ninja, no income, no job, no asset people. Well, it turns out...
Well, they don't usually give house loans, even back then, to people with no assets and no jobs and no income. They were giving them to people who they shouldn't have, but they weren't like giving unemployed people with no cars house loans.
Well, the old joke was if they could fog a mirror, they'd get a loan back in the day.
Yeah, that's the joke, and so that was the narrative, especially favored on the right. But the thing is, a study comes out and says, you know who defaulted on these loans? You know who had all these speculative loans? It was actually the well-to-do house investors, and people wanted. There's a lot of courses on flipping houses. I remember back in that day.
Yep.
And also, people just put their money into these houses because the real estate just kept going up, just like the the .com bubble, just like the current crypto bubble, and people just putting their money into the houses. So who defaulted was actually these investors. It wasn't the poor. The poor were actually so normally the default rate was 70% the poor, but during the housing bubble, it was only 35% the poor, and the rest were actually speculative investors. So I just wanted to say this is a recent study that just came out, kind of vindicates the poor and lower class.
Well, I mean, that shouldn't really be that recent. We kind of knew that. We knew that people were investing in real estate, and we knew that people were investing in real estate that they probably shouldn't have been, at least for the prices that it was going for. So, I mean, it was everybody. It wasn't like no poor people defaulted on houses. In fact, if you're poor and you have a house loan, you're probably going to default on it. But it was whoever was holding these houses were defaulting on them. I wouldn't even say that that was what caused it. I would say that that was a symptom of the housing bubble. Like, defaulting doesn't cause a bubble. It's kind of backwards.
Isn't it kind of like the fault of the Federal Reserve System and fractional reserve banking more than anything else, right? And these, banks basically encouraged to create money out of thin air. I think that's where all this comes from. I agree with you, Melanie.
And there were federal policies encouraging giving loans
yeah.
and
encouraging in like a mafia kind of sense.
Yeah, we'll back you up.
And then, as Greg said, there was the
too big to fail.
Learn how to flip a house sort of thing,
yep.
and there would be people that there would be people in on this giant conspiracy thing to increase the cost of houses. Mm-hmm. So I would buy a house for $100,000, do some renovation, and then I sell it to you, Ian.
Yeah.
We're in on this, right? I sell it to you for $150,000, and then Melanie comes along and she's like, wow, the houses in this neighborhood have really gone up in value. And then she winds up buying a house. She's not in on it, but me and you have colluded to increase the property values.
Yeah, I don't know. Greg?
So, yeah, guys, so what I wanted to say is these markets, you find in the last 10, 15 years, you got Goldman Sachs driving up the price of bread in the speculative. They tried to corner the market on that, make some money. Steel, they did that for a while. They certainly, a lot of these markets around the world, actually. And here's what happens. I mean, in New York City, where I live, there's certainly a lot of real estate speculation. A lot of these properties are not really being lived in. People are just buying them up. Millionaires from outside the country.
Well, and it's effectively illegal to rent them out also.
Yeah, that's also a problem. But what I'm trying to say is, even if it wasn't illegal to rent them out, that's capitalism. You if you want to buy a property, you buy it. What I want to say is this. One of the results is it gets really expensive to live in the cities, and the real estate goes up, so people have to move away and live far away from their jobs. And they have to commute longer and longer hours.
Well, that's a zoning issue.
No, it's not a zoning issue.
How is it not a zoning issue to say you're not allowed to build businesses where the houses are?
That's a zoning issue.
Well,
but
that's
the larger
why the houses are over here and the businesses are over here. Nobody was like, hey, you know where I'm going to put my business? 30 miles away from anybody's
that's some
house.
Government bureaucrat who made that decision.
No, they do that. IBM put their business all the way up in upstate New York. And a lot of businesses put their business there. But
a lot of people would like to live near their businesses. A lot of employees would like to live near their the companies that employ them. But Melanie's absolutely right. I mean, it's absolutely government rules and zoning that prevent that from happening in most places. Very, very few places do not have zoning. Greg, I feel like there was another point you were trying to drive at here, so we'll continue the discussion because normally he's got some interesting stuff to say. Our toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I think it's worth explaining a little more about the Federal Reserve System and how they can create money from thin air, and in my opinion, how that's a big problem when it comes to loans that don't get paid back.
Yep.
More coming up here. This is Free Talk Live.
You want to save money in a place that gives you growth, control, and certainty without stock market risk or tax risk, and you want guarantees and you want it all tax-free. That's a tall order. But you can get all of that with properly designed participating whole life insurance. Most people think life insurance pays after you're dead. That's true. But you can have tax-free access to use your life insurance while you're alive. Get the free book to find out how. Call 702-660-7000.
If you had purchased $100 of Bitcoin in 2010, today you'd have $2,600,000. While that sinks in, you now have a huge cryptocurrency opportunity at below market price at a guaranteed 10 cents per coin. ProCoin, a coin publicly traded on the open market, easily converted to cash, available in 60 countries, and ProCoin is the only cryptocurrency offering coin-back rewards for consumers and merchants. Take action by August 31st at ProCoinCurrency.net. That's ProCoinCurrency.net. Deadline for 10-cent guarantee is August 31st.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You may already know about the Free Talk Live audio-on-demand phone line at 641-793-9660. Did you know that not only can you listen to Free Talk Live via your phone, you can also leave a message and have it delivered to Free Talk Live's hosts? To leave us your thoughts, just dial 641-793-9660. That's 641-793-9660. Press 2 for Free Talk Live, and then hit 0 to leave your message.
Money, power, and respect are all yours at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Be seen as an industry leader. You can do it. The last application you filled out when it was time to hit submit, did your nerves spike? You didn't get the approval you seek, but there's a better way. We teach you exactly what to place into the right systems the right way the first time so you get approved. Get up to $100,000 in instant business credit. Many people will get cash on the spot. Use those two tools in your new corporate credit engine so you can walk into the bank and get your project funded today. It's all about today at creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com. Credit Success Secrets Revealed is explosive and ignites instant results. Dial 1-800-707-8719. That's 1-800-707-8719. 1-800-707-8719. Or just go to creditsuccesssecretsrevealed.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us right here on the radio waves. Take control of those airwaves and bring up anything that is on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. Melanie, you are a professional accountant, and you've hung your shingle out. You're currently working at a job, but you're looking to kind of strike out on your own and get some individual clients that you can help out with their accounting needs and bookkeeping needs and tax preparation and filing needs. You can do all that stuff, right?
Right, and starting in January, I'll be doing just that.
Just that. You're going to leave your job.
Yeah. Well, I'm working a temp job now. So.
Right on. That's a big step. A lot of people, it's tough. It's tough to be able to sort of jump out into the unknown like that. So you're looking for clients. You're looking for people who need some help. Somebody who wants to have a real anarchist for an accountant. I don't know how many anarchist accountants there are out there, but I bet you can't count them on one hand, or maybe
two. I never really questioned James enough to
James Cleveland, our former
to
co-host.
check his purity level on that. But
he was pretty principled. I would say James was a pretty principled
so I'll
guy.
go with two.
And James has not hung his shingle out, so you can't hire James. He's working for some company in Colorado at the moment. But you are available for hire, and you can help people with their taxes. You can help them prepare starting this year on that, so they don't have to wait until next year to contact you. You're looking for clients who want help now or to contact you to kind of reserve your help in the future?
Right, either way, and depending on your situation, if you have either a business or complicated stuff, it's best to have somebody look at that to make sure you're doing everything you're doing. By the time December 31st rolls around, you have everything done that you need to be able to say you did the prior year. If you just have some pretty simple stuff, it's
pretty
probably
simple.
just see you next year.
Okay. Well, you can analyze that for folks. You can consult with them on those matters.
Yeah, and if somebody messages me and says, hey, this is what I have going on, do I need to see you now or do I need to see you in January? I can assess that.
And what you can do to contact Melanie is go through tax.freetalklive.com. That'll take you right to Melanie's website where contact information is available. That's tax.freetalklive.com. And let's go back to Greg in Brooklyn, then we'll continue with more of your calls here. Greg, you were talking about the financial or the housing bubble, and you were saying that there's been some further study that shows that a lot of the speculative investors were some of the people who are dumping their properties, in addition to, and you say more than, poor people failing on their mortgages. But I wanted to bring up the idea that really, these people may have had loans they couldn't afford, whoever they were. But ultimately, the people who are dishing out those loans to some extent have a large part of the blame, I think, to shoulder here. And it was the government, of course, that bailed them out, right? Too big to fail was what they said about these banks and GM and the car companies, for instance. But the Federal Reserve System encourages and allows and is designed for banks, the member banks, to issue loans to people out of thin air. It's called the Fractional Reserve Banking System, and I'm not an expert on exactly how it works, but my basic rudimentary understanding of it is for every dollar that a bank has on storage or in a vault or whatever, they can loan out approximately 9 times that amount.
Whatever the rate is on that given day, actually.
So the rate changes?
Yeah.
Okay. But I've heard it's as high as 9 times.
The rate right now, the last time I checked, which was a few months ago, and I forget exactly where I found it, somewhere hidden on like the Federal Reserve website. They're required to have about 8.5% on hand of whatever the assets or
the total
whatever.
loans.
So they can loan out a little over 10% of what they actually have to loan out.
They can loan 90% is what you're saying. They can loan more than 90% of what they have to, or they're loaning. They only have to have on storage a tenth of what they've loaned out.
Right.
Because they don't actually loan out the money. They're creating it from thin air. When you sign the loan documents, as I understand it, you are authorizing them to just, there's the money, poof.
Well, you're not authorizing them to create. The Federal Reserve is authorizing them to create magic money. You're just borrowing
but it's with your signature. You're the one who kind of makes it happen for them.
And it's all computer entry. So there's not, some guy in the back, I got to crank out another $20,000.
Right. Yeah, they just basically just make it from nothing. And I think that's what, if you want to blame something for the bubble, free money from nowhere, I think, is what you want to blame for the bubble. And then, you can't blame other people for going after the free money.
Well, yes, you can.
No, you can't. People are going to want free money. I mean, that's just what they're going to want. It looks that way.
Yeah, and
it's
bank
not really
robbers
free.
are going to rob. Well, bad example. Gas station robbers are going to rob gas stations. That doesn't mean I can't blame them for it.
Well, I can understand why somebody would want the free money.
I can understand why somebody would rob a gas station. That doesn't make it okay.
Well, I'm not going to say they're the same thing, though. Robbing a gas station is very different from somebody.
Can blame,
yeah.
You guys guys can blame whoever you want. It's a free country, at least somewhat.
I mean, I blame them all. I blame the Federal Reserve. I mean, pretty much in this order: the Federal Reserve, the banks, the people
clients
who took out loans that they couldn't afford, and then the speculative investors.
All right, go ahead, Greg.
Well, Melanie, first of all, congratulations. I'm a very big fan of people striking out on their own and being self-employed. So I just want to say kudos.
Thank you.
I hope it really works out. Also, look, before the Federal Reserve came into existence, fractional reserve banking has been around for a long time. Actually, it's the absence of government. Banks have always issued their own money. They figured that out early on. So when you have gold in your reserves, and then you give bank notes, you can print as many as you want without regulation.
Sure. Right, and
it's up to the bank.
Right, and that is
totally
true. And so fractional reserve banking is the problem, but the entity right now that's engaging in it is the Federal Reserve.
And authorizes
So yes, the action that's the problem is partial reserve banking.
Hold on. In the 19th century, there was something called the free banking era. This is when the federal government was not at all involved in regulating how much the banks gave in reserves, and the banks gave up much more in money out of thin air, because that is actually part of the free market system.
Well, buyer beware. I mean, if you want to go and get money out of some place that doesn't exist, then you're taking a risk.
Well, right, and so the problem is, so if we had a free market, and we did in that at one point, and Bank of America is just printing banknotes and handing them out. At some point, that's going to become valueless.
Yeah.
That doesn't really work with a currency that's backed by the U.S. military. So yes, that's a problem. No, if there was a private entity engaging,
there were runs on the banks, and there were financial panics all throughout the 19th century. A big one was in 1907, which probably J.P. Morgan bailed out Wall Street. There's huge bank runs, and what happened was called Wildcat Bank. This bank put out banknotes with a picture of a wildcat, and Mark Twain used to write, you get paid in wildcat money, because it was like money which could lose its value anytime, right? This bank could go upside anytime.
Right, and that's what should have happened if all they were doing was printing it out of thin air. And
that was what was happening. That was
right, and so that's what they should have allowed to happen. It would crash, and then people would have to not do that
and
anymore.
And learn the lesson.
If
hopefully.
a private entity was engaging in fractional reserve banking, I would have a problem with that private entity at will, because at some point that becomes fraud if you're not pretty much publishing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So,
but how does it become fraud? It's a free market.
Because if I tell you I'm going to hold your $10, and then you come back, for whatever service, you deposit $10 to me, I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to give it back on demand. It's a demand deposit, which is what savings accounts and checking accounts are, demand deposits.
Right.
And you come back to me and I don't have it, that's fraud.
Yeah, but they're not going to say that. They're going to say we can use your money.
Huh?
Your question, Greg, was how is it fraud? And she just explained to you how it's fraud, and then you totally changed the subject.
Then if they say that, then people need to stop using that service.
They'll be upfront with it. All the banks tell you upfront, we're going to use your money. The only banks that don't do that are Islamic banks, which have absolutely no interest rates, and they don't lend out your money.
Okay. Banks don't tell you up front they're going to use your money.
First of all, banks in the States are FDIC insured.
They, you kind of know that's what they're doing. I'm sure it's in their terms of service or whatever, but nobody ever reads that crap.
I've never read a bank's disclosure, and I've read the contracts that said they engage in fractional reserve banking.
There's more coming up here. Thanks, Greg, for the call tonight. We'll take your calls about whatever's on your mind. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. Just allow the market to be free. Allow people to fail and learn from their mistakes. It's Free Talk Live.
If you're a sleep apnea sufferer who's on the go to your phone and call right now to try the world's first portable mini CPAP device, absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. It's the Transcend Mini CPAP, an engineering marvel that's as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. Its unique design is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. No more dragging around a big, bulky CPAP. Even better, now you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights by calling minicpap.com, 1-800-940-1740. Transcend is FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. You can also add a battery pack that's as tiny as a deck of cards. So now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't wait. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-940-1740. That's 1-800-940-1740.
Investing is a long-term process. How many times can you think of in the last decade that the stock market has destroyed retirement funds for people just like you and me? For your existing IRA, you need the security that gold has provided for centuries. Remember, gold has never been worth zero. Capital Gold would like to introduce you to the Home Storage Gold IRA. It's a self-directed IRA set up with all the protection and tax benefits of an LLC. But the big difference in this IRA is you invest in gold and you hold it in your possession. You can't do that with stocks. That's security. You can transfer any type of IRA hassle-free in days. Please call right now and learn more, and we'll waive the $500 setup fee and give you a free safe to store your gold. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Understanding your credit score is the first step towards managing and improving it. This is Charlie Sundstrom with your Van Dyke Mortgage Minute. The most influential component of your credit score is your payment history. Almost equally as important is the amount you owe on credit accounts. Also impacting your score, but to a lesser degree, are the length of time you've utilized your credit, the number of new accounts, credit inquiries, and your various types of credit accounts. To help achieve or maintain a healthy credit score, have a system set up to assure your bills are always paid on time. Don't max out your cards. It's better to have a high credit limit with a low balance. Never close old accounts. The age of these can actually help your credit score. But don't be afraid to use your credit. You need several accounts in order to have a credit score. Just keep the corresponding payments within your means. For your mortgage pre-approval and refi needs, start by visiting VanDykeMortgage.com.
Corporate NMLS 3035. Van Dyke Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Charlie Sundstrom, NMLS 134251.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can join us right here on the radio. Our toll-free number for you to take control of the airwaves is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can, of course, watch the webcam version of the show over at cam.freetalklive.com. Or if you want to watch later on when we're not live, you can always watch via our YouTube channel, which you can access quickly by going to youtube.freetalklive.com. With you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Let's go back to the phones and to more of your calls and thoughts. Steve calling from California, listening to K-Talks in Needles. Hey, Steve. Hello, Steve in Needles, California. Steve in California going once. Steve in California going twice. We'll put him back on hold, maybe give him another chance here in a moment. Let's try Thistle, also in California. Thistle, are you with us?
Hey, how's it going, Ian?
We got you. Go ahead, sir.
I was calling in to see if you guys knew about DTube.
DTube?
DTube.
Like the letter D and then tube, like YouTube, but DTube?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
I just came across it today looking at some news feeds that I had coming in, and it's pretty interesting. It's like you get to upload your videos, and the D is like the play, you know, when you go to push a video, there's that arrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the D, and I guess it uploads your video to Steem it.
Uh-huh.
So you're able to make money on it, and it's decentralized, and it's on the blockchain, so it can't be censored. And
that seems like, I mean, it seems like that blockchain is going to get pretty big if they're uploading full video files to it. I mean, I guess the idea is that that eventually storage space is going to be so affordable, and it already is so cheap that it doesn't matter. But that would seem like it was going to increase the Steemit blockchain real fast. Like, I mean, because Steemit, for those that don't know, is one of the competitors to Bitcoin out there. It's one that actually has sort of a social media system built in, sort of baked into it, I guess. As I understand it, I've been on the Steemit platform for more than a year, and it, up until this point, up until what you're talking about, Thistle, has been a way for bloggers to actually get paid for their blogging. And it's been somewhat controversial, with Darryl being one of the stern critics of the platform. A year ago, we had Brian Sovereign, we had Jeff Berwick. They debated Steemit back when it was pretty brand new. It's still there, and people are still, posting content, and some of it's getting voted up, and every vote up is worth usually a few cents, or depending on the weight of your.
Right, but you can fund something for a year before it falls apart. The system makes zero sense.
So, have you looked at the details of how Steemit works? Because I honestly don't know exactly.
I've read the white paper, and the white paper makes absolutely no sense, because the white paper says the blockchain determines how many new coins to create and at what intervals.
That's right. Well, it's inflationary, like a lot of cryptocurrencies are, so it's not unusual for a crypto to be inflationary.
With Bitcoin, it says, here's the algorithm.
Right.
There is no algorithm set in the white paper for Steem.
So we don't know what you're saying. You don't know what it is.
Right, but it's
Correct.
creating value from something that the market has determined has, depending on how you want to phrase it, either has no value or only has value for specific people doing in specific ways. That does, it's a blog-backed currency. That is complete madness.
No, I don't know if it's blog backed.
But
it's just
the
that's,
reason
go ahead.
I was interested in it is because you can, from what my data ran out when I was checking out the videos, but they're saying that it's like uncensorable videos, so you can put up whatever you want.
I'm on the website right now. I'm trying to find an about page, and there
I don't know the
isn't
URL.
one.
I think it's
DTube.video.
DTube.video.
And there's what appears to be like full episodes or half episodes of Game of Thrones. So there's stuff on here, but again, there's nothing that tells you about the website on the
Go
website.
to the top and search DTube at the top of it. Go to the
Why
top
would you have to search for the name of the site to learn how to use it? I mean,
most websites have a button that you can click that says About.
Yeah, I agree with
This has
Darryl.
some little gears. You click on the gears, and it says voting.
There's a little search
gateway,
window, and
not
you go up there.
not safe for work. API and IPFS, and I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
none of those
Maybe
are
it's so
about.
new that they forgot and didn't put an about page
and it
up
might
there. I
be,
don't know.
it might very well
I think it's
be
only like
good.
20 days old. I'm just trying to tell you guys about it.
It might very well be good as
I don't
like
know
a
what it's all
video
about.
server, but as a currency, which is what Steemit is trying to sell itself as, I refuse to use Steemit just on kind of principle.
I don't think
It
I've
might
ever heard
be-
anybody say Steemit's supposed to be a currency. I mean, I've never seen anybody with a
They're
Steemit
like
wallet.
selling whatever Steemit's coin is called.
Well, I mean, there's
forgot.
a zillion cryptocurrencies out there, right? Like, there's literally hundreds on CoinCap.io, as I mentioned earlier, and Steemit's in the top 30. It's one of them. It used to be in the top 10 for a little while. It had a lot of hype around it in the last year. So it's, like
Every
any
time
other...
every time I went to Steemit, it's all about like just talk to make some money or whatever. But to have an alternative to YouTube that's uncensorable, that's what
Is it uncensorable, though? Because I know that on the
I don't know.
on the
It's
Steemit
probably
platform, you can flag posts. So because for instance, so for people that don't know, the Steemit thing is the cryptocurrency is called Steem. Steemit as I understand it, is the website that allows you to post blogs.
And Steem actually has 3 cryptos. There's
Steem dollars,
Steem dollars, and Steem Power.
which is
the
super
Steem
confusing.
Power is something that you've got to hold on to for some duration of time before you can ever do anything with. And the Steem dollars
Steem Power basically gives you
supposed to be
influence.
tied to the U.S. dollar, but it fluctuates, so it's not tied, even though
It's
the
very
white paper
confusing.
says that it's going to be tied.
If this isn't just an exit scam, it was done by somebody who is grossly incompetent.
Well, like I say, I don't know exactly how it all works. I understand that it does result in people getting paid for blog content. So
As
even
do all exit schemes.
The reason I called was just to let you guys know about it. It's like an alternative to YouTube.
Yep. And if you want to advertise it, send an email to mark@freetalklive.com.
I'm not advertising it at all.
But you've mentioned the website like 5 times.
Well, I mean,
that's kind of advertising.
And there are other video
I'm not
services
advertising nothing.
that are less censoring than YouTube. I haven't used any of them because apparently I just don't care enough.
Because there's
I
the
don't know.
library one.
There's what is it?
People
Daily
keep telling me about them, and I
There's
just never.
Vimeo.
Vimeo's a company. It's a centralized company. Daily Motion's a centralized company. There's Library, which is being programmed by some New Hampshire cryptocurrency
Melanie's
people.
statement was not decentralized.
Oh, I'm
she
sorry.
said
I
there
thought that's
are
what we were talking about.
alternatives to YouTube.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about
There
decentralized.
are places
I don't care if
that you
they're
can
centralized.
upload videos to the internet
Oh, yeah, there are plenty
that
of
are
those.
not YouTube.
Yeah, there are plenty of those. But the point I think Thistle's making here is that this is a place that would be a decentralized place, supposedly with no censorship. But that's what I'm questioning, is because on the Steemit platform, you can flag content as offensive, which basically votes it down and essentially makes it so it doesn't exist. I mean, it's there on the blockchain, but it won't be shown on the Steemit platform. So somebody else, in theory, could write a censorship-free version using the Steemit blockchain. So in theory, that's a possibility.
I don't even know that a
Thistle, you just got to understand. You called in about something that I don't think they're attacking you personally. They don't like Steem.
No, I
and so
get
that's
it.
what.
I just wanted to let you guys know about it. Because
All right. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. I'm just letting you know that they're not attacking you personally. They just don't like Steem. Look, I don't care about how the thing works. What matters to me is, does it work? And it does. You've given the example, Darryl, of when you flip the lights on, you don't have to know everything about electrical engineering to know that the lights are probably going to come on when you flip the switch.
Well, no, but if the light company is claiming that the electricity comes from because I make Facebook posts, I know that that's BS.
Well, presumably this would come from the miners in the blockchain or something like that. I don't know about all the behind the scenes, but what I know is when I post a blog over on steemit.com, you can find my username. It's FTLEN, and if you vote it up, then that pays out in this cryptocurrency that I can then transfer into any other cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin. And
because in order to run an exit scam, you have to run a semblance of a company for a little while.
That's what people say about all these things, Melanie. Like, that's the claim about 500 million of these different cryptocurrencies, is that they're all pump and dump. They're exit scams. There's people just trying to make money off of people who are getting excited by whatever. And maybe that's what's happening here. I don't honestly know. I suspect that's not what's happening with Bitcoin, because we think, that code is legit. It's there. You can look at it. But the fact is, right now, people who have never been paid to blog before are getting paid to blog. Is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing inherently, but I think that
if you're
in
worried
of
about
itself
what
should
happens
make
to
you
the
suspicious.
Steem, sure, be suspicious. But so take your Steem and cash it out. Then you got Bitcoin. What's wrong with that? 855-450 free like freedom. 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 3's coming up. If you wanted to get into Bitcoin mining but don't want to deal with the hassle and frustration of operating the mining hardware, let pool.bitcoin.com handle it for you like I did. Just visit pool.bitcoin.com and use their calculator to estimate what you could end up making. You get to decide which Bitcoin you want to mine. If you already have mining equipment, you're invited to join pool.bitcoin.com. Get all the details and get started mining Bitcoin at pool.bitcoin.com.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
There's no better app for tracking the value of cryptocurrencies than CoinCap. I've had a lot of apps for tracking Bitcoin, but none that's ever been able to track 500 digital assets at once. Their best feature is the Altfolio. I love this thing. You enter how many Bitcoins, Ether, Dash, Doge, or whatever else you have, and it tells you how much your crypto is worth. You can watch yourself get rich. If you have crypto, go right now to coincap.io, or you can use the Apple Store or Google Play to get the app. I love CoinCap. Coincap.io.
Free Talk Live has partnered with Amazon, the largest internet retailer. Imagine a department store category, and Amazon has it. Books, electronics, office products, furniture, jewelry, automotive, toys, clothing, sporting goods, and dozens of other categories. Now you can shop and support Free Talk Live by entering Amazon through our website. Go to shop.freetalklive.com, and Amazon will send us a portion of your purchase. You're going to do the shopping anyway, so remember to enter through our site at shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 4th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.80 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,334 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,331. Antiwar.com reports North Korea has carried out its 6th nuclear test, this time claiming it to be a hydrogen bomb, representing a major advance in their capabilities. President Trump responded with a new round of threats as well as new condemnation of diplomacy as a strategy that could be employed. Again declaring North Korea a rogue nation, President Trump publicly faulted South Korea's calls for diplomacy, labeling it take of appeasement and insisting that North Korea only understands one thing. Threats to attack North Korea have become so common in the Trump administration that if it really was the only thing North Korea understands, one would have figured it would have done something by now other than bringing both sides to the brink of a major war, and one that all analysts agree is going to be very disastrously bad for everyone. When asked if the U.S. was going to attack North Korea, President Trump offered a very unsatisfying "we'll see," leading to a flurry of concerns that Trump is not taking a war that would likely kill millions of people very seriously. Whether or not North Korea really does have a hydrogen bomb now, the nation's retaliatory capabilities to a U.S. strike are vast, which has long been a deterrent to the U.S. attacking. Ever-worsening tensions, exacerbated by President Trump's bellicosity and very public aversion of diplomacy, risk leading to a calamity. But the risk of war, vast though it is only one concern. President Trump also took a shot at China, declaring it an embarrassment to them that they'd been unable to get North Korea to give in to the U.S. demands. Beyond that, Trump and other officials threatened to cut off all U.S. trade to any nation which has any trade with North Korea, a list that includes China, Russia, Pakistan, India, the Philippines, and Thailand, along with several smaller nations. A trade war of this level risks doing massive damage to the U.S. economy, of course, given how vital a trading partner China is. The threat to cut off all of these nations, however, risks pushing them all into a block together against the United States. The risk of the U.S. going down this path are myriad, though the administration is explicitly setting it up as the only option they think is available to them and going out of their way to dismiss out of hand any alternative that might reduce tensions. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the Cleveland Police Officers Union will not hold the U.S. flag at the first Browns game of the new NFL season after some of the team's players recently knelt in protest during the national anthem, according to the union president. Steve Loomis, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association president, said he was offended by the Browns players' symbolic act, and so his members would not take part in the September 10th season opening ceremony. Loomis told local media, as a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and the United States Navy and a 24-year veteran of the Cleveland Police Department, I'm not going to participate or work with management that allows their players to disrespect the flag and the national anthem. The sight of NFL players kneeling during the Star-Spangled Banner has become increasingly common since Colin Kaepernick adopted the gesture last season as a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Kaepernick said he was doing so to protest police brutality, particularly against unarmed minorities. At least 8 Brown players knelt during the national anthem ahead of a preseason game on August 21st against the New York Giants. Loomis said the Browns management had told him they were disappointed the union would not join in the flag ceremony alongside other military and law enforcement officers ahead of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's The Onion Radio News. A new crispy snack cracker will ease the crushing pain of modern life. The dull, all-consuming ache of present-day existence will be slightly alleviated when Nabisco's breakthrough TC McCrispies line of crackers arrives today. Available in regular, Garden Ranch, and Zesty Cheddar, the new crackers will flood consumers' bodies with fat, salt, and starch to produce a pleasing sensation of warmth and nourishment, momentarily freeing them from a relentless, crushing sense of profound grief. Mel Krychak is Nabisco's Director of Corporate Communications.
Our tasty new snack cracker will, if only for a few lovely moments, significantly lessen the hideously bleak and empty torment of modern life that festers in every solitary soul.
Nabisco expects most despair-riddled consumers to eat an entire box in one sitting. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. And as we launch into the third hour of the show, it's Ian here.
Melanie.
And Darryl.
We can continue. You can bring up what's on your mind. We've got Skype. Our Skype username is lrn.fm. We also have our toll-free lines at 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Let's go back to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. Coming up, Calexit, the latest from the plan to have California possibly secede from the United States. Will they be the first state to do it? Well, I don't know who's going to be first, but somebody needs to. Let's go to David in San Francisco. Actually, all of our callers right now are from California. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, howdy, y'all. Yeah, it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. Have you ever read the book Ecotopia?
No.
It's probably an old, 60s book, maybe early 70s. It's about the time when the nation becomes captured by major corporations and they decide to carve up America. So there's the mining concerns, and there's the grain concerns, and there's the, various entities decide to carve up America. And Northern California, Oregon, and Washington State basically secede from the corporate state and become Ecotopia. And it becomes a refuge for the intelligent. So, yeah, let's find out what happens with that one. I was...
Are you saying that should happen, that environmentalist people should move to the same state?
Oh, you don't ever want to put all your eggs in one basket and allow everybody to become... Well, as a libertarian,
What were you going to say? And allow everybody to become what?
Basic economics.
And allow everybody to become what? Can you finish your statement?
Haven't you ever taken economics? You know, the whole idea of putting all your eggs in one basket is never.
I'm talking about people,
That
though.
is not really an economic.
Yeah, we're not talking about investments here. We're
thing.
talking about people moving. We're talking about the ideological viewpoint of someone, a group of people coming together. And we've seen in Vermont, for instance, how that has worked in the favor of the lefty socialist hippie types who moved in there in the 1970s. We've seen how it's worked out in Utah with the Mormons moving in there way back when. There's no doubt that those groups have had an effect on the places that they've moved to. And there's also no doubt the libertarians are having an effect here on New Hampshire, as they've been moving in here for more than a decade, and that's working. So it's not putting all your eggs in one basket, because the fact is not everyone's going to move.
Well, and if you don't even have a whole basket full of eggs, putting 3 eggs in 3 baskets isn't necessarily going to accomplish much. There's not a whole lot of libertarians.
If the purpose is to diversify your eggs across multiple baskets, then you've accomplished that. But otherwise, if you want to make an omelet, then you need all of your eggs to be together.
Well, if we were to use the example of ecotopia, where, say, like the mining concerns take over the Rocky Mountains and basically destroy any kind of pollution laws. I don't know if you know it, but that down in Houston, they're almost like a libertarian central down there.
No.
When I was down there in the 70s, they had such poor zoning laws that you basically didn't even have to have a sidewalk in front of a downtown building.
Zoning is pretty good in Houston, but that does not make them a libertarian utopia.
Yeah, I mean, when you say zoning is good, you mean they don't have it in the city.
Yeah, the lack of it is what makes it good.
Right.
Well, I mean, we've got a building out here in San Francisco that was only built maybe 5 years ago. It's called Millennium Towers, and the architects for it claimed that they didn't need to go to bedrock. Bedrock was, say, 200 feet down. They only decided they were going to go 40 feet down. And now we've got a building that's something like 50 stories tall in the middle of a whole bunch of other buildings, and it's been leaning, and it's a matter. I mean,
okay, but that's not a zoning issue. A zoning issue is you can't put it here; you have to put it over there.
Yeah, and what? I
mean, there's everybody says that San Francisco is a liberal city. That's far from it. Nancy Pelosi she's from the real estate.
What you're saying is San Francisco is not liberal enough for you, David.
No. She doesn't live.
I don't know where to tell you to go then.
Right, that's what I was going to say. What are the other options?
She does not live up to the laws of science.
What's a more liberal city than San Francisco?
This is the foolishness of libertarian thought, where you're pretending that you don't need to live up to the laws of science. And
what the heck are you talking about, dude? No, the libertarian viewpoint is that no one should use aggression on other people. That's what the libertarian viewpoint is. That has nothing to do with science. Many libertarians I know are big-time science buffs. They're very into science, and they understand that when you build a house or you build a building, you want to build it as sound as possible, and also most of the time your insurance company is going to want you to build it as sound as possible. So the market already has the necessary built-in features that are needed to make sure that buildings are done in a safe way. So I question what went wrong with this particular building that you're bringing up here. Again, even with all your government zoning and rules and regs and all that, apparently that was still able to happen. So I would say let the market decide.
The original purpose of my call was because you were talking about the inability of people to live in the downtown areas, in the major corporate areas.
Yeah. Melanie was saying that zoning was a problem.
Along the same lines. My answer would be right along the same lines. That basically what's happened is that if you go back into 1964, when the Civil Rights Act got signed, the organized crime and the big bigots of the day decided that they were going to create so much fear-mongering that they were going to drive all of the whites out of town, tell them to go buy a place in the suburb, and allow the major cities to collapse. And if you go to almost every major city, whether it's Detroit or St. Louis or Pittsburgh or anything else, New York for that matter, Donald Trump took advantage, and Donald Trump's dad took advantage of that fear-mongering.
Donald Trump took advantage of a lot more than that, but...
Yeah, they took advantage of it, and they bought up land at 2 cents on the dollar while it was in the most caved-in condition. And then they used government to give them bigger land grants to be able to create acreage.
Right. Imagine if there was no government.
Trump has a habit of having the state steal land from other people to give to him. But so if a bunch of people leave the city and there's still people in wherever the city is, if there's not something wrong with the city itself, it doesn't matter that some other people are leaving. If the city's collapsing, it's because something's wrong with the city, not because something's wrong with people who left it. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I agree. And when you start looking, for example, in St. Louis, that's where I came from, these town fathers had decided that they were going to intentionally drive all of the blacks out of town. At the same time that they were fear-mongering and causing all the whites to move to the suburbs, they came up with a thing called the Team 4 Report, TEAM 4 Report. And if you get a chance to read it, it's probably online. There were paper copies in the library. And the thing was amazing because it set it up so that street sweepers would no longer go into black neighborhoods. They'd no longer clean out the sewers in the black neighborhoods. In a hot summer, St. Louis used to have 76 public swimming pools. They closed down all but 2, left one.
This sounds to me like another problem with government, where people getting in charge. Yeah, where bigots. Right, bigots getting in charge of government are going to use their going to use the tools of the state, which is violence, to impose their viewpoint on the people they're bigoted against. Surprise, surprise. Thanks for the call tonight, David. So you're making an argument against government, even though I'm sure if we were to keep him on the line, he would go on to say that, well, we just need to elect good people.
Yeah,
that'll solve it.
Seemed to be saying, we need more or better government, while then saying, look at all the horrible things that people in government did.
Right. It's the idea that that the institution isn't the problem, that the idea of monopolized power over other human beings, that's not the problem.
And the process of picking
users.
people is part of the institution. So if there's something wrong with that process, then there's still something wrong with the institution.
There is more coming up, and you're welcome to join us on the radio. Take control of the airwaves here, 855-450 free, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. This is Free Talk Live.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-957-9489. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-957-9489. That's 1-800-957-9489. 1-800-957-9489.
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions to that other site? I know you are. And I'm here to tell you about a great alternative to sell your stuff. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the best-selling site to ever come along. It doesn't matter what you're selling, big or small, it's easier than ever. And you can use Skype to show your items and get to know your potential buyer, and they can see that you are for real. No more blind trust. And you're not limited to snapshots. You can video what you're selling to better sell it fast. For as little as $9.95, and that's after a free 30 days, you can sell everything you no longer want with absolutely no fees, ever. Go right now to BuySellMakeOffer.com and become part of a community of buyers and sellers who have already discovered this revolutionary way of getting it sold online. That's BuySellMakeOffer.com. You'll never regret making the switch. BuySellMakeOffer.com. So, what are you waiting for?
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll free. Take control of the airwaves here. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. We also have Skype, so Skype on in here. Skype username is lrn.fm. Got some shopping to do online. You want to help Free Talk Live out at the same time? Well, just go to shop.freetalklive.com. That's shop.freetalklive.com. You'll be able to enter into Amazon and some other stores from that link. Amazon US, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada. You just click on the right Amazon for you, get your shopping taken care of, and feel good because Free Talk Live is going to get a portion of your purchase price that otherwise would just all go to Amazon. So we appreciate it when you take that extra step and go to shop.freetalklive.com first. And remember, if you want to save yourself the step, then just go there once, then click on the Amazon that's right for you, then bookmark that when you land there. So when you land into Amazon, bookmark that page because that's where our code is in the Amazon landing URL. And that way, if you just go back to that bookmark, then we'll get all the credit for your purchases from that point forward. So you can take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We're going to go get into the California story here. California's Calexit, the idea of California seceding from the United States, back in the news. We'll tell you what the latest is, but first we continue with a bunch of California callers. We've got Steve on the line in Needles, California. We're going to try Steve again. Apparently he was away from the phone when we tried him earlier. Steve, are you there now?
I am indeed. How are you folks doing tonight?
Great. You're listening to K-Talks in Needles. Go ahead with your thoughts, Steve.
Okay. I want to thank you first off for your discussion about the Federal Reserve System and the fractional banking. I promise you, not one person out of 100 understands that if you talk to them. So it's good. It's good that you're mentioning that.
Or if they do understand it, they refuse to believe it. I've had that more often than just not understanding.
It is. It's pretty incredible. Just an observation. From what I understand, if you make a deposit in a bank, the bank then looks at those funds as their asset. Now, your deposit represents a liability to them, for sure. But nonetheless, they count any money that you give to them as among their assets.
That is true. That is not as malicious as I think it sounds to lay people, though.
Well, Perhaps, but I'm reminded of what happened in Cyprus, where they decided anybody with more than 100,000 euro on deposit were subject to a haircut for the good of the country and for the good of the bank.
And by haircut, you mean the money idea of the bank or the government or whatever is just going to take that money and they're going to take it from all accounts over a certain amount.
And technically, they would be, they, in this case being the U.S. federal government, would be well within their authority
because it's their money, right?
Because FDIC only protects you up to 250,000, so they could say everything over 250 and a.
They could change the limit.
If you have 250 more than 250K in a U.S. bank, you need to stop doing that.
Well, now wait a minute. Where would you recommend you put it besides cryptocurrency?
You go. I mean, not even if you're going to keep it in a bank, put it in different accounts. The
have
account is
multiple
insured.
accounts because each account is insured
the account
to
is insured
250.
for 250K.
I see what you're saying, but you're still counting on the federal government for that insurance. And remember, they could just be like, "Welp, we've decided that we just can't make good on this." And what are you going to do? Sue them?
Well, if you did, it would go
actually
to.
Looking to discount what's owed.
If you did sue, it would go to one of their courts that would probably say you don't have standing, and then you'd be out money
but
anyway.
I think the thing that is kind of confusing a lot of people, I imagine, not necessarily anybody here, but something being an asset on your balance sheet does not imply ownership. Long-term leases, a lot of the time, are put on balance sheets. You're using a technical term that also has kind of a common usage. So it doesn't sound like what you're saying doesn't mean what it sounds like, I think, to most people.
Am I supposed to take comfort from that?
Well, I'm not saying you should
anytime
trust banks, but it has nothing to do with what you just said.
Right. Well, anytime you hand over your assets to somebody else, then you're taking a risk. You know that there's a chance that something could go wrong, and even if the government, is there, whether the government's there or not is another question. I don't, certainly trust the government to protect anything at all. And by the way, that FDIC insurance has changed. It used to be $100,000.
Correct.
And now it's $250,000. And if they wanted to change it to $50,000, they could do that.
Correct.
Too. And you would have no say in whether or not that would move forward.
Oh no, they would have
probably
a
shouldn't be
public
keeping
comment
that
period.
much in.
That they would have a public comment period.
Yeah, sure. And then
they would totally ignore any comments that you had.
Right.
But they would have a public comment.
I don't know if a bank in liquid cash is the best place for 300K to be in the first place. So I wouldn't necessarily store investments and assets in a bank, but I just want to make sure that because they do this, the post office is really good for this. They have like 2 or 3, I've read some of the stuff they did. They have like 2 or 3 technical terms that also have common usage that they make statements to make it look like they are not involved with the U.S. feds, but if you read it in the technical terms, they're saying the opposite of what it sounds like they're saying if you use the common usage.
Wow, that's confusing. That's some kind of legal
and then
nonsense.
They'll use like some double negative to where I'm not drinking water right now.
Steve, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem.
And thanks again for what you do.
That's what we do. Thanks for the call. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. David is on the line in North Carolina on Skype. Hello, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Whoa. Sounds like you're swallowing that microphone there. Hang on a second. Say again?
Yeah, I was saying if you've got $300,000 in the bank and need something to do with that $50,000, don't. I guess you could put it in a cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency is legit coin, zero forkability. The silver.
You can't call gold cryptocurrency. That's what you're referring to. That's when you call about legit coin. That's your name. That's your little name for gold and silver and other precious metals. You can't call it cryptocurrency. Cryptography is not involved.
And also, it doesn't have a guarantee of zero forkability because we've created elements before. So in the future, at some point, we probably could create gold.
Well, yeah, now, if you're spinning straw into gold, I'm moving to New Hampshire tomorrow, right? But as far as I know, it's not that easy. All these cryptocurrencies, y'all are up here on a daily talking about how there's, ever more forks. It's being debased by fork. It's sort of kind of interesting to see how the market's reacting. Like, I mean, for every new fork, it seemingly adds like money to the total pool of cryptocurrency worth, like out of thin air. I mean, at what point does it not become to look like a scam?
Well, first of all, what you're referring to is Bitcoin's fork that happened in early August, on August 1st. It was the first time that Bitcoin ever forked into two competing currencies, and I didn't know that the price was going to go up on both of them, or that the total value between them was going to go up. I figured it would fall, and I think other people did as well, but surprise, it actually went up in value. And I think the reason for that is because the market values both of those currencies. There's no guarantee that's going to continue to happen, and also at the same time, one of the things that's been going on is the total value of the Bitcoin and all of the other altcoins combined has been shooting up over the last year, and so just generally the amounts that these things are valued at has been going up. David, if you want to continue to comment, hang on. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com, virtual care anywhere.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people, exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can connect with the Liberty Radio Network via our Facebook page at facebook.lrn.fm. That's facebook.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. We invite you to join us right here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. We've also got Skype, so feel free to Skype on in at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Help us out by visiting the website, freetalklive.com, and sign up for the email list. You can keep in the loop with what's going on with Free Talk Live from a once-a-week email that I'll send out usually sometime on the weekends. You can get signed up for that list over at freetalklive.com. You'll find the email sign-up box toward the front, on the front page toward the top near the middle. You'll see it there. freetalklive.com as we continue with David. He's on the line, calling from North Carolina, big advocate for precious metals, and you're certainly, Johnny on the spot of finding fault with cryptocurrencies. I guess you are predicting that this whole cryptocurrency thing is a fad and it's not going to last?
Yeah, it's sort of kind of like Beanie Babies for the 21st century, right? It's definitely all speculation right now. And I'm not so much.
Is
a
it
fan
all
of, like,
speculation?
gold, silver per se.
Because Bitcoin's got a pretty big network
believe
effect
so.
where there are a lot of people and companies that accept and trade Bitcoins on a daily basis. I mean, it's not really speculation, is it?
Network effect. Well, network effect actually might be a euphemism for speculation, right? It's a hype train.
A hype train?
And yeah, absolutely.
There's no hype. I can go walk downtown Keene, New Hampshire, go into local burger, and I can order a meal with Bitcoin. I can then go across the street. I can buy a bowl with Bitcoin at Corner News, and I can spend some Bitcoin around the corner on a pizza that I can take home and put in my oven.
Right.
So
And then you could take the RAV4 up to a mechanic.
Yeah, I can have my car fixed for Bitcoin
Now,
here.
David,
That's no hype.
I just want to point something out. Just because we're fans of cryptocurrency does not automatically mean that we hate precious metals.
Yeah, I like precious metals.
This is one of those weird things that a lot of Americans buy into this weird binary thing.
Yeah, you're either for one or the other.
You either support X or Y. You're either a Republican or a Democrat. You either drink Coke or Pepsi. You either like pineapple on your pizza or you don't.
I do like pineapple on my pizza.
Right. And I mean, I think cryptocurrencies could deliver some marginal utility. There are things like Namecoin. I'm not sure if that's still around, right? Where it's a virtual asset for virtual assets, right? And that makes a little bit of sense, right? But the fundamentals of cryptocurrency just aren't sound, right? I mean,
the fundamentals are very sound. That's why they're worth $5,000.
Cryptography is very sound.
Right. That's what I mean. Those are the fundamentals. Because that's what backs cryptocurrencies is the cryptography. And if it's not sound, then it's going to get hacked. And if it is sound, then it's not going to get hacked. And that's why Bitcoin was worth as much as $5,000 within the last week per Bitcoin. If it was hackable or if it was somehow unsound, it would never have gotten to that level of value.
Correct.
Ever.
Well, I don't know that that's necessarily true.
Okay, well you can doubt it if you want.
I'm an IT guy by trade, right? Now I'll grant you that. I'm talking about the economic fundamentals, right? I mean, there's not really much that distinguishes Bitcoin from Bitcoin Cash, from Zcash, from Monero, et cetera, from each other, right?
The cryptography.
Those fans would argue that there are things that separate them, and that's why they support one versus the other.
Right. So to say that they're all the same is akin to saying that, well, Android and Apple and Microsoft are all the same because they're all softwares that run on computers. There's nothing that distinguishes Shakespeare's work from that of Edgar Allan Poe or George R.R. Martin. They're all using the English language and just slapping words on a page.
Yeah, I mean, but you actually do that too. When you say he runs Linux, did you mean Red Hat, Fedora, Slackware, SUSE, Arch? I mean, no.
Yeah, and those
Linux,
and the
right?
fans
So
of
it
each
is
of
sort
those
kind of like
systems
software
are
on a
big
computer.
advocates usually of one or the other. They'll, the people that like Ubuntu like it for their reasons. The people that like Linux Mint like it for their reasons. The people that like the command line Linux or whatever that is, CentOS, they like it for their reasons. So
Yeah,
whatever.
but I mean, to get out of the weeds, I am all about what the objectives of decentralized money are all about. I mean, I'm down with that. I wish it was going to work. It's just not. Right.
Well, how will you know when it's not working? I mean, because it's working now, right? You're saying it's all going to fail at the same time, or like eventually all of them are going to fail?
Yeah, it'll probably be like Beanie Babies. I mean, it's pure speculation at this point. But I mean, that
Okay,
being
but we've
said,
already
I've been
pointed out it's not
looking
pure
into-
speculation, right? So the other ones
Well,
are
I've
pure
been looking
speculation.
into-
The other competitors to Bitcoin, the hundreds of various different cryptocurrencies that are out there. If you go to coincap.io, you can scroll down the list and see them and see what their current values are. Those are speculation for the most part because there really isn't anything in the marketplace backing them. There are no merchants that are accepting them or trading them in any meaningful way. So those are just people buying and selling on the hopes that the prices are going to go up. And people are certainly doing that with Bitcoin, but that's what people are doing with gold and silver as well. But gold and silver aren't completely speculative because they're actually useful in the marketplace in different ways. So odds are they're going to at least into the future, gold and silver are probably going to continue to be worth something because they are worth something in the marketplace, meaning that they're being used in products and
they have
manufacturing.
non-monetary value.
Yeah.
Right, and that's actually something I was going to ask you all about. Do you know of anybody that's, I think I've caught about this before, but buying gold or silver with Bitcoin? Has anybody like
Roberts and
all over
Roberts.
that you know of?
I think Roberts and Roberts does that.
They are Bitcoin preferred, and they've eliminated the minimum purchase amount for orders paid with crypto.
That's pretty sweet. David, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I mean, I appreciate that he reminds people that that precious metals exist. I still think they are a good hedge against inflation.
It's not really a competing product.
Sure it is. It's competing for investment dollars, meaning that if somebody has $100 to invest, what are they going to invest in?
Well, right, but so some things you kind of pick one or the other as you're willing to buy. You're either going to buy an Apple computer or you're going to buy a Mac or whatever. You're not going to buy all three. But it's like saying you shouldn't buy chicken, you should buy apple juice instead. Like, that doesn't make as much sense.
Well, you should, I would say you probably should buy some gold and silver.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't just invest in one thing.
That's putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
To come back to that earlier discussion. And that is a bad idea, to put all your eggs in one basket. And I'm not an investor by any means. I've got gold. I've got a little bit of gold. I've got a little more silver. And I've got some cryptocurrency that I administer on behalf of the Shire Free Church. But ultimately, I think that it's good to have different things. And within cryptocurrency, there's some Bitcoin, there's some Ether, there's some Dash. So I've tried to diversify in there as well. But by no means, I can't predict a winner. I don't know for sure, what's going to be the long-term success story. Gold might all of a sudden break out and do something really special. It hasn't really done that in my lifetime, but, it could happen.
Yep.
So I would say that gold and silver are a fine hedge against inflation. If you're looking for a place to put some money that's not the U.S. dollar, I would say those things and cryptocurrencies are fine options because there is no, government that controls those items. And that means that you're keeping your wealth out of the hands of those Federal Reserve bureaucrats who can then just inflate the money supply and destroy what wealth you've created for yourself. So these are all fine ideas as far as I'm concerned. I get the fear around cryptocurrencies. I get that some people don't understand it, and that's a scary thing. I don't think you have to understand how Bitcoin works and how Bitcoin mining works and all of that to know whether or not it does work. And right now there's an argument that it doesn't work right.
If you ask the average person, how does your car work? Well, I put gas in the fuel tank and then I turn the key. Well, no, how does the internal combustion engine operate? What causes it when you turn the key to ignite a spark and then the cylinders go up? What causes all of it? I don't know.
Explosions?
But they still drive cars.
Controlled explosions that somehow pushes gears and
but my
pulleys
point
and shafts
is,
or whatever.
People use the I don't understand computers as an excuse, but they also don't understand alternating current versus direct current and how internal combustion engines work.
But they still pay the power bill and, drive their cars around. 855-450 free like freedom. You join us on the radio. Free Talk Live.
Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, Jesse Ventura, Dennis Kucinich, Roger Ver, Colin and Jim Cantrell, Jordan Page, and Tatiana Moroz. Top minds in aerospace, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, fine arts, politics, and finance, all at the Nexus Conference in Aspen, Colorado, September the 21st through the 23rd. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Get your tickets now at nexus.freetalklive.com. New ideas and new opportunities all to be had on September the 21st through the 23rd. Nexus.freetalklive.com. Imagine, if you will, a virtual world, a symbiotic economy with its own currency, where you can barter your services with others. Symbi.com is a marketplace of real people exchanging skills and services, from web developers, marketers, video production specialists, and teachers of all sorts, to gaming consulting or fitness coaching. Symbi.com is a vast world of people trading freely. Take my word for it, it's an adventure you can't afford to miss. Simbi.com.
How did you become addicted? A friend? Were you at a party and someone said, "Hey, try this"? Then you got the cold sweats and started shaking. And the more you did it, the more it didn't work. So you switched to the needle. Now you're a train wreck. Drinking, drugging, broke. Your family hates you. And you hate you. Get out of your hell on earth now. Call the Detox and Treatment Helpline today for immediate help. In many cases, your insurance may cover the costs. We can't guarantee it, but we can guarantee we have what you need to change your life for the better. Pick up your cell phone and call right now. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. 855-700-2979. That's 855-700-2979.
We've made significant progress wiring the nation's schools for the internet, but we have to do more. Every child in America should have an internet-capable computer in their bedroom at home, preferably with a high-resolution webcam. I have been to children's chat rooms and have been shocked and disappointed to find they are frequently empty. Even when these youngsters do manage to find their way online, they lack the skills to do something as simple as pinpoint their location on Google Maps. I long for the day when someone can log onto the Nickelodeon Under 13 chat room and type, "Hey, any kids in here like to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon? I have a Nintendo at my house," and be overwhelmed with instant messages. Then I'll know we're doing our job supporting technology in this country.
This is the Onion News Network.
For years, LRN.FM has had a listen line that you can call and listen to LRN.FM anytime. Now we're taking the idea to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line. You can call 641-793-9660 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed, and you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 641-793-9660 and choose from the menu. 641-793-9660.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in and bring up anything you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Moments remain. There's enough time for you if you get on the line right now. With you tonight, you've got Ian,
Melanie,
and Darryl.
Well, let's see. We wanted to talk about Collexit, and I don't know if we're going to get a chance to get in real deep here at all, because we still get your calls coming up here, and that's what's the most important factor. Toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. And don't forget the Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. You can go and watch it online anytime you want. It is the 5-year anniversary this year.
I am so looking forward to that screening.
Are you going? You're going to it?
As long as you don't need me to fill in for you.
Well, actually, what we haven't figured out yet was Derek J., who longtime listeners know is a former co-host here on Free Talk Live. He moved out to Portsmouth, New Hampshire from here in Keene, originally where he'd lived. And he and his boyfriend, Steven, have opened up the Bitcoin shop, the so-called Free State Bitcoin shop.
Yay!
Shop spelled SHOPPE. And they are selling things only for cryptocurrency. So if you come in there with cash and you want to buy something, sorry, you won't be able to make that purchase unless you actually change that cash into crypto. They have a vending machine across the street at the Seacoast Repertory Theater. And actually, I believe they're about to be launching a vending machine inside the Bitcoin shop that's going to be a two-way machine. So you'll be able to both buy and sell cryptocurrency there. So it's really I haven't been there yet, but I already know it's a really cool shop because Derek and Steven are running it. And I've seen pictures, and we're going to go down there and check it out. They were supposed to be doing a grand opening of the shop on the 9th, but that sounds like it's going to get postponed. So what I suggested he do, and he hasn't said for sure what's going to happen yet. He liked the idea, but I suggested that he do the grand opening on the same day as the premiere.
Excellent.
Or the screening of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. So maybe that's what'll happen. In which case, I know Mark Edge, our co-host, had wanted to do a Free Talk Live episode from the Bitcoin shop.
All right.
And so I think it would be cool, like if we're going to do that, because originally their grand opening was going to be in the evening, like 5 to 8 p.m. The movie screening on the 17th is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern. So who knows how the day is going to flesh out or what they end up deciding to do. I'm just sort of speaking thoughts out loud here about what might happen. We don't know exactly how it's going to pan out. But if we do go out there, if the grand opening's the same day, we could just go out bright and early, like before they open up, and just do an episode of Free Talk Live, a recorded version from the Bitcoin store. Because the store's so small, my main concern is I don't want to like take up a bunch of space in a very small square footage shop. And so if they're open, then if we're in there recording a radio show, that could be a little distracting for customers coming in trying to shop. And so I'm hoping that we can get there early and just kind of hammer out the show. We'll have Derek and Steven on, of course, to talk about what it's like running a Bitcoin store. And then later on, we can all go and, the grand opening party can happen. Then we can go see the movie and then the party, or, however that would end up playing out. But either way, we do know the movie is going to happen. There is a 5-year anniversary celebration free screening of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. So if you're in New England on the day of the 17th of this month, which is a Sunday, then you're going to want to mark your calendar to get up to the Seacoast Repertory Theater, which is where the screening is going to happen. It's at 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening. So you'll have to miss the live episode of Free Talk Live in order to actually be at the screening, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, did you say you weren't at the original screening, or you were?
I was there.
You were there, okay. Yeah, so years ago in 2012, in September of 2012, on the 15th, we had a real-life premiere of Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Pictures and video from that are up on victimlesscrimespree.com, so you can kind of, if you weren't there, you can get a feel for what it was like. And I think I remember counting over 50 attendees, and this
sounds about right.
This was bright and early in the morning, so these were hardcore people. This was like, 9 a.m. or something like that?
About 9, 10 o'clock on a Saturday, I believe.
Yep.
Plus, there was the not quite red carpet entrance.
That's right.
To where, I don't recall if we actually had a red carpet, but there was sort of the, walk through, people snapping photos.
Yeah, there was some kind of like red cheap thing that somebody got. I forget what that was.
There was definitely the rope.
Yeah, there was something like that.
The velvet rope of, oh, yes, you're Mr. Freeman. You can come in here.
And then and I rolled up and dropped him off in the police cruiser, the old police cruiser. So that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
So now Derek's on the Seacoast. We decided to have the 5-year anniversary screening out in the Seacoast, and it's at the Seacoast Repertory Theater, which is the very same theater that accepts Bitcoin and currently also has the Bitcoin vending machine there, which is actually now a crypto vending machine because you can get Litecoin, you can get Dash, and you can get Ether. There's something else that's in that machine as well.
And I think I recall reading that the theater accepts other cryptos in addition to Bitcoin.
I believe they take Dash. I'm not sure if there are others beyond Dash, but Bitcoin and Dash. So if you want to buy your refreshments, you want to get a beer or something like that while you watch.
Ooh, they got beer.
I believe they do. I don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure they do have alcoholic drinks because it's it's a theater and they get the license for that, I think. So
okay.
So yeah, crypto friendly. Admission is free, so it's going to be first come, first served. And Derek's been promoting this around town. He's been putting up flyers around town, so I think this will be cool too, especially if we get some regular folks from Portsmouth to check out the movie. So whether you're a big fan or you've never seen it before, if you want to come up and hang out with some cool libertarian folks, we're going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm definitely going to be there. I'm the executive producer of the movie. I've got to be there, and so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to do a Q&A session with Derek J after the film. So he's had 5 years of activist seasoning since this went down, since the movie was released, and his lifestyle has changed a little bit. So maybe we'll kind of have him recap on how he feels 5 years later, and of course you guys will get to ask whatever questions you want. We will record that session. So that way anybody who can't make it, we'll put it up on YouTube
and
later on.
And didn't you record the original Q&A as well?
Yes, there's been a couple of different Q&As with Derek J. But yeah, all the Q&As that I could have recorded, I have recorded with Derek J.
Well, I meant the original Q&A that happened at the
premiere,
original premiere,
right? Because there was another Q&A that happened at the Liberty Forum like the next year when we screened it there,
right? And I think there was a Q&A at the Keenvention as well, or was the premiere part of the original Keenvention? I forget.
There was a Keenvention where we played the movie, but that was because we were supposed to play 101 Reasons film, and it wasn't ready in time.
Okay,
so that didn't work out. 101 Reasons film is now available at 101reasonsfilm.com, and that was like 2014. So I guess that would have been the second. I think that would have been the second Keenvention. So anyway, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Let's go to Sarah. She's in New Mexico. Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, the other day, Darryl is always against the jaywalkers, and Chris got mad because he wanted to jaywalk, and he got a ticket.
All right, first of all, I've never heard Darryl being against jaywalkers.
No, and Sarah, you called in about this on Friday as well, and I will explain one more time, and this is the final time that I'm going to explain this to you.
Then Darryl won't talk to you ever again.
Probably not. You always call in about people being run over and alcohol being involved, and I've looked.
She hasn't mentioned either of those things right now, so you're jumping to a conclusion.
Hold on.
All right.
Because this goes back to my statements about jaywalkers that she interprets as Darryl hates jaywalkers. The statistics for Albuquerque, New Mexico, is that the majority of people that get hit by cars are drunk and not in a crosswalk. So if you interpret that statement as Darryl hates jaywalkers, then by all means, misinterpret my statement. My statement is the statistics that you always mention about people being run over. The jaywalkers are drunk and not in a crosswalk.
He's turning red like Mark does. You really are filling in for Mark tonight.
I have absolutely no problem, Sarah, with people responsibly... Listen, Sarah! I have no problem with people.
He's an 8-year-old boy. He got run over 2 times. He was jaywalking, but not drunk. He was not an alcoholic.
See, Darryl?
I said the majority.
You hate children? You hate
majority. That means more than half. That doesn't mean every single person.
Oh, my God.
Sarah, finish listening.
Wow, I've never seen Darryl like this before.
If you get killed, you would blame him.
She's not going to listen to you.
No, but he got killed instead.
Sarah, listen. I have no problem with people responsibly crossing the street wherever they want to responsibly cross the street.
Okay, well, the 8-year-old boy, he was not an alcoholic. He wasn't drunk at 8 years old.
I never said an 8-year-old was an alcoholic, you crazy lunatic!
Oh, man. Thanks for the call, Sarah. Oh, Jazzy's upset now, Darryl. Why'd you have to go and do that? All right, we'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, over at freetalklive.com. Check out more of Darryl. He generally doesn't scream on his podcast at fpp.cc. In fact, I've never heard him do that before. Sarah really pushed him over the edge. We'll see you tomorrow night. freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. You likely buy all kinds of things online. Amazon is the largest online retailer. You can get what you need at the same prices with free Super Saver shipping by going to shop.freetalklive.com. Please do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 4th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.80 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,334 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 4.1 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,331. Antiwar.com reports North Korea has carried out its 6th nuclear test, this time claiming it to be a hydrogen bomb, representing a major advance in their capabilities. President Trump responded with a new round of threats as well as new condemnation of diplomacy as a strategy that could be employed. Again declaring North Korea a rogue nation, President Trump publicly faulted South Korea's calls for diplomacy, labeling it take of appeasement and insisting that North Korea only understands one thing: threats to attack North Korea have become so common in the Trump administration that if it really was the only thing North Korea understands, one would have figured it would have done something by now other than bringing both sides to the brink of a major war, and one that all analysts agree is going to be very disastrously bad for everyone. When asked if the U.S. was going to attack North Korea, President Trump offered a very unsatisfying "we'll see," leading to a flurry of concerns that Trump is not taking a war that would likely kill millions of people very seriously. Whether or not North Korea really does have a hydrogen bomb now, the nation's retaliatory capabilities to a U.S. strike are vast, which has long been a deterrent to the U.S. attacking. Ever-worsening tensions, exacerbated by President Trump's bellicosity and very public aversion of diplomacy, risk leading to a calamity. But the risk of war, vast though it is only one concern. President Trump also took a shot at China, declaring it an embarrassment to them that they'd been unable to get North Korea to give in to the U.S. demands. nations. Beyond that, Trump and other officials threatened to cut off all U.S. trade to any nation which has any trade with North Korea, a list that includes China, Russia, Pakistan, India, the Philippines, and Thailand, along with several smaller nations. A trade war of this level risks doing massive damage to the U.S. economy, of course, given how vital a trading partner China is. The threat to cut off all of these nations, however, risks pushing them all into a block together against the United States. The risk of the U.S. going down this path are myriad, though the administration is explicitly setting it up as the only option they think is available to them and going out of their way to dismiss out of hand any alternative that might reduce tensions. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports the Cleveland Police Officers Union will not hold the U.S. flag at the first Browns game of the new NFL season after some of the team's players recently knelt in protest during the national anthem, according to the union president. Steve Loomis, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association president, said he was offended by the Browns players' symbolic act, and so his members would not take part in the September 10th season opening ceremony. Loomis told local media, as a veteran of Operation Desert Storm and the United States Navy and a 24-year veteran of the Cleveland Police Department, I'm not going to participate or work with management that allows their players to disrespect the flag and the national anthem. The sight of NFL players kneeling during the Star-Spangled Banner has become increasingly common since Colin Kaepernick adopted the gesture last season as a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Kaepernick said he was doing so to protest police brutality, particularly against unarmed minorities. At least 8 Brown players knelt during the national anthem ahead of a preseason game on August 21st against the New York Giants. Loomis said the Browns management had told him they were disappointed the union would not join in the flag ceremony alongside other military and law enforcement officers ahead of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
NASA's recent discovery of water on Mercury has led to speculation among scientists that the planet could potentially sustain an intergalactic space prison housing the universe's worst criminals. Scientists believe that organic compounds found on the planet's surface could be useful for creating an off-world space Australia, where strength is the only law. However, they caution it is too early to say whether or not fights among the space jail's prisoners would be broadcast here on Earth for the entertainment of wealthy gamblers. But NASA's lead researchers do say that Mercury's ability to support human life raises important questions about who the prison guards would be.
Perhaps the guards themselves would be space mercenaries, or maybe we'd just use robots.
The robots would have guns for hands.
Well, obviously.
Critics inside NASA caution against funneling too many resources into the Mercury project when it would be so much cooler to build a prison on the moon ruled by clones of the prisoners themselves. Researchers encourage the public to read their findings, which have been released in the form of a graphic novel titled The Mercury Cipher.
This is the Onion News Network.
And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Today, let us make them remember. We are not afraid!
Yeah. Declare your independence. With me, Ernest Hancock, and Davy Barker. Davy Barker is sitting in. He's going to be here till Tuesday. So we got a good show Tuesday. We got Colin Cantrell is going to come on from next